Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How are we doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are on this beautiful world we call home. What is up, everybody? What is up? Mic check 1, 2. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me. How are we doing? Let's see who we got in the building today. Let's see who we got in the building. All right, Bullish Morale up there first. That's what's up. What's up, Bullish Morale? How you doing? Sean, what's good? Stevie in the building. The beautiful Hey Alexa 88. Last day to purchase toys for the Saitama Drive. Very true. The last day to buy toys for that LA toy drive is today. Stevie said, I already donated $400 worth of toys to Tots a few weeks ago. I'm tapped out, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. And that's the thing we're talking about, making a difference in your own community right there, Stevie. That's what's up, man. That is awesome. Omar in the building. What's good, brother? DF Dread. How we doing? How we doing? Mr. Nelson in the building. What's good, Nelson? My main man from the Bay. Mr. Randolph. How you doing, brother? Man. Mike check good. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Mr. Guzman. What's good, Richard? How you doing, brother? Man, oh man. So many beautiful people in the building. Doc Hughes in the building. What is up, brother? How are you doing? How are you doing? Crypto Immortal, what's good? What's everybody? What's up, everyone? Missed yesterday's stream. Been sick, man. Hope you're feeling better today and continue to feel better. Definitely, especially around these holiday times. Don't want to miss out anything. But man, how are we all doing today? How's everyone's day going today? Real quick, let me make a. I guess I should probably put a post out that I'm live, huh? I haven't done that today. Should probably do that. So we'll work on that slowly. We'll work on that. The Real Cracker Jack, what's good, brother? How's everybody doing today? What's everybody been up to this morning so far, or this afternoon? Anybody got anything exciting? Anything exciting today? Give me 1 second. Trying to write these tarp. I see some tarp stuff out there. That's what's up. Let me get this tweet out, and then we'll come back and have some conversations. All right. Got that out there. Now we can get undivided attention. Eddie G said TARP. Definitely Crypto Mortal said doing good, loaded up on TARP. There you go, following TARP. TARP was exciting. Just bought TARP. Only got 27 mil after 4 tries. Okay. Miss Christine, how are you doing? How are you doing? Stevie said, took my daughter to school, went back to sleep. Man, living your best life. Stevie out there living it, man. That's what's up. Uh-oh. DF Dread, we're bummed a little bit. Why are we bummed? Stevie, I had to make some decisions on what I wanted to do, but I was able to find a little bit in there. Dropped 2 zeros in 5 minutes, man. It was moving fast this morning. Yes, sir. 11,000% in an hour. Pretty strong. Mr. Courtney in the building. What's good, Courtney? How are you doing, brother? Man, so here we go. Y'all know me. I'm terrible at names. Lotiola. But hopefully that is correct or somewhere close. Hi, Kia from Cook's Island. That's what's up. Thank you for stopping by today. That's what's up. Hope you're having a great day. KS Shibnobi. That's what's up. Shibnobi, what's Shibnobi doing today? I haven't looked at it today. Christine, I'm doing well. Doing well. Courtney said got some tarp. That's what's up. So it looks like we had quite a few people get into the tarp this morning. John Taylor, good afternoon, Wolfpack. What's up, brother? John Taylor said I grabbed a huge bag of tarp. All right. I was super bummed you couldn't get more, man. I'm right there with you. One of these days, I hope to have that financial freedom and just be able to invest as much as I want to invest. But until then, I will continue to make the moves that I can afford to make, anyways. Hey, it's all right. It's all right. A bag is a bag. It is all good. Christine says, everyone smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Yes, please. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe. But I have a feeling most of you who are here right now are subscribed already. KS said, Shibnobi making moves. That's what's up. That is what's up. You know, since we're talking about, since we're brought up tarp, I guess we can take a look at it. Might help if I doubt that, Dread. Hey, but you're able to get in there. That's all that really matters. You're able to get in there. Crypto Python, what's good? Nikki B, got my ETH ready for Lily. There you go. There you go. Oh, ooh, I got it right. Lotiola, I got it right. Got it right. Man. See, chat, I'm not always terrible at names. Just like the easy names. Oh man. Meezy said, I want to get into TARP. What's the starting point? Where is it at now? The chart we have up right now is the TARP chart. So, and Meezy F, what's good, brother? How you doing? Hey, Cuff right there. What's good, Cuff? My main man, Cuff and the dip. Started at 7 zeros, dropped 2 zeros in 5 minutes. It moved pretty quick. Yeah, you're still so early. It dropped an hour ago. Hey, KS, we'll get to it. We'll get to it, KS. We'll make the rounds here in just a few minutes. Today is brand new. It's like an hour and 15 minutes out. We'll get to Shibnobi maybe here in a little while. But yeah, I'm excited. Hey, Stevie on it. There you go. That's the thing about this one. There's not a lot of supply. There's only 1 trillion of it. So having a small bag is like having a big bag in a quadrillion. You know, you'll be all right. Getting in there day one. I bet you see lots of gains. Hey, there you go. 28 mils better than no mil. But yeah, Randolph said no dip to cuff. Not on this chart. Not on this chart. But the SI Tama chart, there's definitely a dip to cuff. So most definitely a dip to cuff here. So, but you asked for a little Shinja chart. So here you go. Speaking of the Shinja, just for you, KS. Put it there for just a little bit. But yeah, not look too bad over there on the Shinja. Have we got our daily 1% on Certic yet? Nope, not yet. Man. But yeah, it definitely was. The Shinja was, I think, was in the 1.4s yesterday, having a little dip, but I think the overall market's not moving a whole lot today. So, yeah, let's check it out, see what it says. We still at 85%. Yes, we are. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. It's already burned 1.44%. Wow. Oh, you saw Vern over there? That's what's up. I have no doubt Vern Darren got a bag in there. That's what's up. Man, ZG, what's good, brother? How are you doing, Mr. ZG in the building? Try to make sure I don't miss anybody in the chart, in the chat. Crypto Mortal says same dread was trying to buy from a crappy phone while working. Man, that's tough. ZG in the building says, what's good? What's good? Corey Ward. So TARP is your first BSC coin. That's what's up. Yeah, I've had a couple, and most of them have not been good. Man, what's been going on in the Twitterverse? Anybody any big news popping off in the Twitterverse today? Any big news? Let's see what we got from Russ. Let's see if we got anything from the main man, Russ. And just a few minutes ago, actually. Red Eye announces its 16th annual holiday party with contributions from the LLC. All right, here's another article here. So this is looks to be from like getnews.com with talking about the Red Eye announces the 16th annual holiday party with contributions from Saitama LLC. And it's a news article talking about what's going on this weekend and the attachments we got going on. Russ had a good tweet. Gotcha. Just take a look at the one message. Oh, the one he wrote last night. There you go, Randolph. Got that long message for you. Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Crypto Trader, what's good, brother? How are you doing, brother? Big country, welcome to my world. That is me daily, failing to multitask. And y'all get to watch it live every day right here. But yeah, this is the tweet that Russ had out yesterday, or maybe this early this morning. But some thoughts I wanted to share with you all. It's impossible to answer the millions of questions I get daily, but I can share some of my encouragement and truths. As you all know, we remain an open book, good or bad. And then it reads, how do we know we are making an impact and your vision terrifies an industry? Lately, I've been getting mixed feedback from the community about lack of follow-through, unmet expectations, etc. Some are valid and some are FUD, but here's the facts. Our SATA mask was complete, ready for rollout prior to our Las Vegas event. We anticipated the audit being complete prior to the event, so went ahead as planned. Coordinating something that size takes months, so as the days grew nearer and it was obvious that the audit wasn't going to be finished, we had to improvise. During the event, an obvious coordinated sell-off occurred to try to damage our image in hopes we would walk away with our tails tucked between our legs. Nope. A timeline of a couple of weeks has given for completion, so we pressed on continuing to build our vision for the future. CMC launched an attack along with several paid YouTube creators attempting to sabotage what we've created. Again, in hopes we faded silently into the crypto abyss. Nope. Several small-scale attacks on our character, our partnerships, as well as false claims regarding our dedication to Saitama and his community. Again, all with hopes that we would fail and disappear. We as a community have faced so many obstacles and adversity. Since we popped up on the radar. Why would anyone want to slow down our progress? Simply put, because they fear our plans for the future and what we are capable of. Change is never accepted by all. And when you start to raise the bar and standard, it scares people that have grown accustomed to preying on the uninformed. Saitama is not just a coin. Saitama mask is not just a wallet. We are not just a few dedicated individuals, but a community of over 275,000 that are ready to make a difference. The truth is, we have done more in 7 months than any other coin has done in years. At our current growth rate, imagine what 2022 will bring. We have made a few mistakes along the way and have always been right there in the front taking responsibility. We are the future, and we are not. We will change not only crypto but the world in one capacity or another. For those that attempt to slow us down, you can't. For those that think we will run, we won't. We are Saitama Wolfpack, and we are here to stay. Man, that's some strong stuff right there. That's power. Mr. Randolph, definitely appreciate reminding me on that one. Big country. Now you know what happens the first like 20, 30 minutes of the show. It's literally it's me saying hi. What's up? CM, what's good, brother? How are you doing? Man, CM in the building. Stevie said the audit is still at 85%, but it did move up to one of the last two positions in the audit. We're getting there. We are definitely getting there. Yes, sir. We talked about that just a little while ago. We had it up there pretty much. I mean, I don't want to say pretty much, but there was quite a few chat members who definitely got in there. Myself being one of them. Yeah, man, I feel like I got so far behind reading that post. Bubba, what's good, man? How are you doing? Yeah, we had that conversation. We talked about it. Lots. There's quite a few of them. Yes, yes, yes. And so today is the last day to get the toys for the toy drive. That's going on this weekend. Um, that way they just want to make sure that it's there on time and they have it. So if you haven't already and you would like to check out this flyer, check out the Amazon link, and if you'd like to send a gift to a community in need and a child in need. We've had the Mr. Terry Briggs was on yesterday. He came on and talked about just kind of what the things they got going on, what the event is actually going to be like. So, man, I wish I was closer to Southern California. I would definitely try to make it out there for that one. And I'll actually leave that up for just a minute. CM said, told the family no gifts this year. They're already been gifted Saitama. just kidding, of course, he says. Hey, Meezy, don't text and drive. Don't text and drive. But appreciate you. I had trouble buying, got in a good spot, but still. Actually, I was able to buy, and my cousin called interfering with my screen. Oh, man, that's terrible. Christine, that's what's up. I ordered last night. I know Randolph has been donating quite a bit. That's what's up. That's what's up. Chris Miller in the building. What's good? How are you doing, sir? Yeah, I think the ones at the top, and I think you can actually like filter like by price. So, but I know there was like a guitar, like some kind of cheap looking guitar. So, all right, got you, Meezy. Just making sure. But yeah, there's some smaller affordable stuff on there, and if you're able to, bless somebody, that's awesome. Ben, what's good, brother? How are you doing? Man, that is awesome. But yeah, but today is the last day for that toy drive, so we just want to make sure that we get it out there and get that information. So if you do have the desire to want to, and haven't already, here's the flyer with the information on it. And if you are in Southern California and you want to donate your time and go help out and volunteer, they're looking for volunteers too. So if you do want to go out there, just make sure you have if you got a Saitama shirt, rock some Saitama gear. But they said that Saitama should have a table out there. You'll be able to meet Mr. Terry Briggs and introduce yourself. So yeah, definitely cool times. But I'm curious as to where that long tweet that I was just looking at. So what did y'all think of this one here about Russ talking about all the FUD and all, just kind of addressing everything. Big O Drive, what's good, brother? How are you doing, man? I'm doing well over here on my side. Hope you're doing good. Randolph thought it was inspirational. I liked it. I agree. I agree. I definitely think there's some power there. Justin, what you think of Dion getting top recruit? Dion got the top recruit. That's what's up. I have no doubt. He's still at Jackson State, so I mean that's a big time move there. Getting a top recruit. That's what's up. Marty McFly says it was awesome. Great work and always in front of everything. Powerful. I agree. All right. Well, apparently my music switched on me here. All right. Now we're back. But yeah, powerful. I definitely agree. I liked how we let's see if I can find it. We talked inside, between our tails, guys, in hopes we would walk away with our tails between our legs. Nope. Saying hopefully we will, disappear into the crypto abyss. Nope. Man, that dude's got some power in them words, man. Definitely a strong leader there. Chris Miller in the building. Randolph, my man. Hello to everyone. Justin, my guy. What is up, brother? How are you doing? Let's go check the holder count. I haven't looked at that in feel like a few days. Check out the old Ether scan. 279,000 holders. Man, almost 280,000 holders. That's wild. CM said today was a great day to increase positions, lows gas fees, and nice dips. Not financial advice by any means, but just something that he noticed. Does anyone have any knowledge about the CoinMarketCap lawsuit and the Bitmart buyback? The lawsuit, I don't know that we're going to hear a lot about, just because it's illegal, and you would want the legal team to take care of that. So I'm not 100% sure on that one. The Bitmart buyback, I don't know either. That's one of the things we're kind of waiting on for them to do it. Right, Ben said 300K right around the corner. Facts. Cove coming in with them Justin emojis. That's what's up. I honestly forget I have emojis over here sometimes. That's funny. Hit him with them cuff ones. Yeah, there you go. But yeah. Mr. Jeffrey in the building. It's good that Russ addressed the community, but the doubters are going to go, regardless. You can't please everyone, and that's just the way it is. You have two choices. You either hold and stay or dump and go. Man, I like that, Jeffrey. I agree. I'm sure announcements will be made in class action lawsuit. It will take time. Who knows how long these days? There you go. Very, very true. Very, very true. WMS Motors, what's good, brother? How are you doing, man? How are you doing? Yeah, not everybody's willing to listen. Yes, sir. What do I know? God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. That's about it. But I know that I have a lot of notes here that I could probably answer a lot of questions. But when it comes to the lawsuit and the Bitmart buyback, I just don't happen to know those. So, amen. That's what I like to see. WMS Motor says all is well here. That's what I like to hear right there. Hey, God is asking he wants some too. I have a feeling he's got all of what he needs. But I feel like we're just gonna kind of do this right here, just every little while, just kind of check up on the on that new token we got today out there in the spaces, the TARP. Yeah, here's that. Here's the new token TARP we were talking about earlier. I know a couple people were asking about it. So, yeah, and it's a prettier chart. It looks nicer. Looks like a nice run up. It's nice to see a brand new coin come out and not like just dump. You know, people sell off because it's brand new. to make sure I don't miss nothing in the chat. Yeah. Any other things going on today? Oh, hold on. I forgot. I didn't forget, but just I guess I did kind of forget. But also some big news going on for our friends over here. If I could get there. We also got this announcement right here. Coming over from the Impact XP, and they are, boom, right here. So LBank and Impact XP trading starts at 12/15/21. So that's today. Withdrawals start tomorrow. So, man, it's definitely some big news coming around. Definitely some big news. I know we're waiting on SATA That's kind of the big wait right now. And then we got, TARP came out today, which is its own thing. Has nothing to do with Saitama really. But we also got Impact XP, which is an unofficial, but trying to get on SATA but they get it listed on LBank. So that's major news coming out. That's awesome. ZG said, watch the chart once the Lily Finance drops. And I have a feeling that's going to be very true. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for Lily. But yeah, Impact XP getting on LBank, man. That's nice. Yes, sir. Martin McFly says, let's go Impact XP and Saitama. But anytime you get to, anytime you're able to see, oh shoot, we got a Vern in the building, man. What's good, Vern? Sean Tarp is one of the mostly important coins that you should have in your bag, brother. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to do over there with their coin reader, how they're going to grade projects. Should be pretty fun. Vern always dropping knowledge. The real Crackerjack, can TARP go on Ledger? I will ask. And speaking of Impact XP, we got here. We are of the Cuff and the Dip show. He's gonna be doing an AMA, and that's my main man. We rock together. That's my boy. So I want to know if there's any questions that you might have for Impact XP that we could write down and talk. Twitter's the best way to get a hold of me. I'm JustAman04 on Twitter. But definitely interested. Shoot me a DM. And good morning, brother. How you doing, Matt? It's only $1 trillion of the TARP, yeah. A lot of love for Matt. That's what's up. What's up? John Taylor said Lily is the only one I'm missing to complete my bag. You're trying to get the infinity. What is that? The infinity stones. What is that? The gauntlets. What is this? I can't thinking of it right now. What's the glove he wears? I'm drawing a blank. CM coming in said I got a bag of tarp and doubled down on Impact XP because of the dip. That's what's up. That's what's up. Corey Carson in the building. What's good, Corey? How are you doing, brother? He said it's a beautiful day here in Canada so far. It is negative 34 right now. Sir, I'm out on that. I'm out on that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I could not think of that to save my life. Infinity Gauntlet. Appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, same here in Texas. It's pretty nice and warm. So yeah, just one more time today, L-Bank Impact XP. So that's definitely pretty cool. Pretty cool, big stuff right there. And there will be an AMA with Cuff coming up. So like I said, if y'all have any questions coming up with them, please let me know. You can either put them in chat, or you can even DM them over to me or Cuff. So we want to ask as many questions. We want to know the questions that y'all want to know. So let me know. Corey Carson said, living the dream, keeping hope alive, bro. That's what's up. But yeah. John Taylor said it's super windy in Colorado today. Man, I'm not a fan of wind. Dallas, it's pretty dang windy here in Dallas. I don't like all of the time. Vern said there's an AMA for Impact XP. When is that again? I believe that is being set up for the 20th. So we got a couple of days for that, but I believe it's going to be the 20th. And don't quote me on that. Cuff may be in the background somewhere, but he can definitely give out a little more information on that. I'm not 100% sure on the date. I just know when it's coming up, and we want to make sure that we have all of the questions from the community. We want to make sure that we ask the questions that y'all want to know, so that we can get the best information out there for y'all. Luis, what's good? What is good? What is good? Hey, Vern, you were able to jump in on that tarp? You were sitting there waiting for tarp today, huh? Smash the like button, please. Yes, sir. DF Dread, thank you. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on if you haven't already, so you know when we go live every day. See him say, Vern, I see you ignored the Santa, Vern. CM said, oh, I'm floating. I have no doubt. CM is floating right now. CM and Wiz Khalifa like to hang out sometimes. So I just saw this from Corey Carson retweeted this, and I saw it talking about the toy drive. Look what came in yesterday. Day one for the toy drive. Let's go. That's awesome. So that was yesterday, the first day of toys showing up from Amazon and all that stuff. So big time stuff. Disclaimer: TV not included. That's funny. Yeah. So I made a post. They were talking about how last year 5,000 toys was their goal, or not their goal, was their record. And so I said, if we double that, if we can get to 10,000, I will. I'll show up next year to the 17th annual, and I'll dress up as Santa Claus. And lo and behold, like in one day, we're already at 10,000 toys. So, yay! That's what's up. That's awesome. I love the fact that we were able to like completely destroy last year's record. And at the same time, I get to go to California next year and dress up like Santa Claus. And I'm probably going to talk Cuff into going with me and being cuffing the elf. Yeah, most definitely. That's if you haven't seen that film, that Lily Finance AMA, I definitely highly suggest you going to seeing that. Saitama Empress, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yes, sir. We're just asking. I'm just trying to get all the questions. Make sure we get everybody. Any question anybody has. If we don't have it already, we can put it on a list. We can write it down. We can get them all out there. That way, we get all the questions. Negative 34. Yeah, I guess negative 34 Celsius or Fahrenheit. But yeah, that's still really cold. Either way, I think still really cold. Cider Burt had an interesting project on his show last night. How can the devs and CEO get on your show? Tell them to send me a message on Twitter. I'm not sure who it was. I haven't got a chance to see it, but there you go. CM said him and Cuff can be the elves. There it is. There it is. Just a clause and cuffing the dip too. Cuffing the gift. We'll go cuffing the gift. Yes, ma'am, it does. Yes, ma'am, it does. Vern said he's not being an elf. Come on, Vern, you're not gonna be an elf. That's funny. Come on. For the kids, bro. It's for the kids. Cracker Jack said I'm in Minnesota, and we see those temps too. Man, I'm out on that. That's why I live in the South. Pleasure Q, exactly. If it's solid, what do you think, Justin? If it's solid, shoot me a DM. We can definitely let me know what project we're talking about, and we'll take a look at it. And if I like what I see, if the team likes what we see, we can definitely sit down and talk about it. Hey, Certic updated. All right, well, let's go check that out together because a while ago it had not updated when I pulled it up, but it is about that time where we get our daily 1%, maybe? No, it's still at 85%. Oh, man. Shirley still says 85%. DF Dread said Russ is on a Twitter space. Would y'all like to listen into this? Oh, okay. Yeah, as we talked about that a while ago. So I'm going to turn on this Twitter space with Russ on here real quick just to see what we got. We'll pop in, and I just want to make sure I'll share it with audio. Let's see what they are talking about in this Twitter space.
Got to stand up for what you believe in and stand up for all the hard work you put into something. You know, it's one thing, you know, crypto is so volatile, right? It's so new, right? There's not a lot of governance, there's not a lot of action, there's not a lot of trust in the general public. You know, it's not governed by the SEC. There's a lot of shady characters in crypto in general. There's a lot of companies that are also playing that card too. You know, there's big money in crypto right now, and it's not being monitored by anybody. And I'm not just saying like meme companies specifically or the meme coin generation. I'm talking about, you know, across the board. You know, and these companies, they all have these huge bankrolls and these connections, and allow them to just manipulate the market. It allows them to sway things one way or another. Everything is connected. And if you guys don't know that, let me just give you a little bit of advice and a little bit of insight, right? I've been in this space for a long time, and I've been in business for, you know, a couple of decades now. Binance owns CMC. Binance owns Certic. They are the big wigs. They are the top dog. They have billions of dollars. They are
Yes, this
vetted
is
and
live, Cracker Jack.
vested in almost every single thing in crypto, and coins specifically. Why do you think they're under investigation for market manipulation, you know, by the FBI? You know, these things aren't by chance. This is the space that we live in, and we're trying to govern it. And we've been taking hit after hit after hit, and we're going to push back. Like, we're not going to be in this space anymore and continue to try to grow just to take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Every turn that we make, every push forward that we try to do, we get some kind of interference. Somebody's running interference along the way. And I'm not going to go ahead and put names out there until we have everything that we need to go to bat. But we have an entire team of legal people that do this stuff every day and look into all these different things. And we have just pounds and piles and stacks of information and stuff that we're sifting through and data that we're analyzing. And a lot of things are starting to come to fruition, right? And it all kind of starts to make sense. So I say that just to say this, that we are not going to be bullied anymore. We are here to stay. We are not going to change what we're doing. We're not going to change our course. We're going to continue to push the envelope, pioneer the crypto space, bring regulation to it, raise the bar. You know, we did that in the beginning when we did our very first AMA on a live stream. People are like, what? Who are these people? Like, these are the actual developers of this coin? Like, I don't understand. What are you doing on live stream? Like, I can see your face. Like, yeah, that's how it should be. Right? You want to be able to see the people that are running this company. You want to be able to know a little bit about them, where they came from, you know, what their experience is, what their education is, you know, what qualifies them to run a company this large, and more importantly, what qualifies people to be entrusting of your money, right? Because you are giving us your money, essentially, not us specifically. It doesn't go into my bank account, but you're investing into a company that you believe in. You're investing into a project that you wholeheartedly believe enough to hand your hard-earned money into in hopes of getting a return from. Right? You're hoping that a small percentage or a portion of your hard-earned paycheck is going to offer some financial freedom down the road. You know that crypto is a great opportunity for people to invest more so than taking your money and putting it in a savings account. If you take your 5% of your paycheck, like I'm going to save 5% of my paycheck for emergencies. I'm going to take 5% of my paycheck, put it into a savings account. So when I retire, I'll have a little nest egg. I can pay off my house, take that vacation with the wife or your husband, put your kids through college. And right off the bat, there is no hidden agenda with the bank. I mean, there is and there isn't. You put it into a savings account and you're going to collect your APR of 0.0005%, whatever that is, or whatever investment you have, a Roth, an IRA, a CD, whatever that is. Going in that your percentage, your ROI is going to be very small, and you're okay with that because your money's safe. But people see crypto as an opportunity, like, hey, I can take my 5% and I could turn it into 100%. I can invest my $100 a paycheck and potentially have $100,000 5 years from now. So you're trusting us enough with that money that we're going to do the right thing. And that is all that we have ever done, is try to do the right thing. Unfortunately, when you do the right thing, there's a lot of people that are doing the wrong thing that find that as a threat because it customs their way of life. And there's been a lot of people that have made so much money off of doing the wrong thing. When you have the right people come into play that do the right thing and want to change the dynamic in the course of crypto, that's a threat. So now we're taking money and the possibility of earned income away from people that have made billions. And that's not good, because there is nothing more in this world that's more terrifying than your source of income becoming irrelevant or being turned away or being taken. And that trust factor, it is what they say it is, right? And I'm using they very lightly because, again, I'm not here to point out specifics. I just want to give a general consensus of the space. Like, I'm offering my inside knowledge and my interaction in the space, and being able to view it from multiple standpoints, not just from an investor, but as a developer inside the space. As a trusted company, crypto enthusiast, as well as an investor, because I'm still an investor. Saitama is our baby. Like, that's our company that we built from nothing. But at the end of the day, I'm still an investor. Right? I put my money into Saitama just like you guys did. When we launched Saitama, we didn't have developer wallets. We don't have a 5% marketing wallet. We don't have a reflection of any kind that goes back to us in any way, shape, or form. So all the things that we do are 150% out of pocket. You look at a lot of coins that come out now, that probably learn, like, hey, we can't afford to pay for this marketing. We can't afford to pay for this promotion. We can't afford to pay for this listing. So they have to ask the public, or they go to members of the community, or try to do a fundraiser to get these. Now, you have coins that are like, well, let's instill a 5% marketing tax. So we have funds to pay for that. Well, we don't have that. And it does two different things. It allows you the transactions to pay for such things, but it also kind of loses a little bit of value in the coin, because before you're even an investor, you're paying 5% towards something that you don't really know what that money's going for. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea, because it's a great tool to help coins get started. Like, it offers money for them to pay for listing fees, to pay for CoinMarketCap to list their coins, for paid promotions, influencers, or whatever. Those things all cost a lot of money. But because we don't have that, it's all out of pocket. So, and it pains me to see some of these things on Twitter, like, oh, you guys are just partying with our money. You're doing this, that, or the other. And, I try not to take too much offense to it, because a lot of it is just misinformation. People kind of maybe misjudge or don't know everything that happens or the details. So I'm here to tell you that everything is funded out of pocket. Even this charity event that we're doing this weekend. So I paid for that myself out of pocket, to get the ball rolling, to work with Terry and Ariel to get the actual event coordinated, to get the toys. And then the community stepped up and just killed it, right? We got like 10,000 toys for this event. But again, it's all self-funded. Like, we don't have the ability to pull funds from anywhere to create promotions, like even with the fight that we did a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you guys are into marketing or have an idea of what something like that costs, but it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm pretty sure I don't see anybody here that donated a couple $100,000, but that money's got to come from somewhere, right? So it came out of our pocket. It came out of the development team's pocket. But we do that stuff because we have a goal. We want the name to get out there. We want our brand to be recognized as a leader in the industry, and doing things like that separates us from the other coins out there or the startup coins. And for you guys that may or may not know, like, it is, why do you think the success rate of crypto coins is so low? Like, how many coins do you see that launch every day? 5, 10, 20? Of those 20 coins that launch every day, and there could be anywhere from, a meme coin to a utility token, to anything. Of those 20, I would say 19.5 of them will not make it past the 30-day mark. And that's not me being conceited or biased. That's just facts. That's just facts. I've been around in this space for a long time. I've seen so many coins come and go. And unfortunately, there's a lot that could do really well, right? They come out into the space and they have the right mentality. They have the right utility. They have the right motivation. They have so many obstacles that come in the way. There's so many things that come up. Like, everybody knows that when the chart is green, everybody loves it. It's the greatest project on the planet. But the second that chart dips red, or you get a couple days consecutively of in the negative margin, everybody questions it. What are you guys doing? What's happening? What are you guys doing with this? Where's the marketing? When exchange? When Binance? That's the kind of diversity that separates quality projects from from ones that don't have the backing or the motivation, or more importantly, the community. So that has a lot to do with success rates. What we're trying to do and what we're trying to create here is obviously something that's going to be around for a long time. So most of these other ones that go under the radar, and they don't really find a blip on the screen of these larger corporations because they're not really a threat. Because, like I said, 19.5 out of 20 will be gone in 30 days. They're not a threat. So the less than 1% that make it past that 30 to 60-day mark, the Saitamas of the world, the other coins that have true utility, that have been around for a while, that are going to make waves, those are the real threats. And if you incorporate that into now what we're doing in creating a platform that will essentially replace a trust wallet, that will replace a MetaMask, that will replace a CoinMarketCap, that will replace all these other entities that have done nothing but make money for years now, that's a threat. That's a threat. So what do you do with the threat? You find a way to eliminate it. If you can't inadvertently get rid of it somehow, you make it so difficult that they will just want to pack up and leave. There's been plenty of times they've thrown so much at us that it would have been much easier just for us to be like, hey, you know what? We gave it the old college try. Let's go ahead and pack it in. But that's not ever going to be the case, because it's never about money. It was never about money ever even in the beginning, right? Myself and the other developers, and I can speak for myself because I'm the one on this call. Like, I don't need the money. I didn't need the money when we started this. I've been retired for a while. I was in the military for a long time. I'm a disabled vet. I've been in business for a couple of decades. I could retire right now and never deal with crypto ever again. But I don't, because I enjoy it and I enjoy the space. And now we're committed to this coin and this community. Like, it is my goal every day when I wake up until the time I wake up, till the time I go to sleep, to do what I can to make Saitama what it's meant to be. And now that we're getting so much pushback, now it's personal. Now I'm going to do everything I can out of spite to show everybody else that, hey, we are doing this and we are going to make change, and we're going to make everything that we said do, we're going to make it possible, and we're going to make it irrelevant along the way. And if you can't get on board with that, then I'm sorry. You can keep throwing rocks in the driveway, but we're going to roll right over them. And that's, we sat back and took it on the chin for far too long, and now, hey, we're gonna push back, because it comes to a point where if you're bullied as a kid, right, that bully is just going to keep bullying you and keep bullying you until one day you put your foot in the ground and you say, you know what, enough is enough. I am not going to take your shit anymore, and I'm going to stand up for myself. So we are putting our foot in the sand and standing up for ourselves with the backing of almost 280,000 people behind us saying, hey, we're on board too, and we're not going to take this shit anymore either. And like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail, but our audit should have been done 2 weeks ago. 1% a day is bullshit. I don't understand what's happening with that. It's been done. Our platform should have launched 2 weeks ago, easily. Our platform in MetaMask was done before we even went to Vegas. right? It is done. But we want to make it safe. We want to make it secure. We want to make sure that everybody's money is safe, because I promise you, if we would have launched it at Vegas without the audit being done, it would have only taken one person to lose their money for us to have our entire rest of, early on 2021's progress and all the man hours put into that thing. It would have been for nothing, because then it would have been seen as a security risk and people wouldn't want to utilize our platform, and we don't want that. And we want to make sure that everybody's money is secure. Let's just look at recent events with Bitmart. $150 million they lost because of a security issue. That is so much money. Like, we don't want that at all. We want to make sure we're providing a very safe and secure platform for everybody. Hence why we went with the audit. It should have been done. Let's be honest, it should have been done. That's not on us though. Our hands are tied. Why it's taking so long? I don't know. Like I said, I can just give you guys the information and you can do whatever you want with it. I can just give you all the information we have, and everybody's, obviously open to make their own assumptions and judgments. But, I have my own, of course. But here nor there, it's that's just a recent event. Bitmart also says that they would be buying back all their tokens. Have they been? I don't know. They said they have. They also said they were going to open up withdrawals last week. That hasn't happened. So the crypticness, the lack of information that we get, who's that make look bad in the end, right? Who's the target? It's like we are, right? Because we are expected to have that information. We are expected to remedy that stuff. Even though it is not in our control whatsoever, it's us, the developers, that need to answer to its holders, because we have an obligation, right? We are the leaders of this company. We are at the forefront of St. Thomas, and we have the obligation to inform our investors and our holders of what's happening. That's our responsibility. It's again, you guys entrust us with your funds, so it's our moral and financial obligation to tell you what's happening, right? And if we are not given information and we feel like there's people out there trying to sabotage what we're doing, then I feel it's necessary for you guys to know that too. And I don't even care. People can get mad. What are they going to do? Try and sabotage us more? Like, they've been at it. Everybody's been at it. It doesn't even matter. It's paid YouTubers creating bullshit content. It's ghost accounts on Twitter, following me around everywhere I go on Twitter and posting negative shit with one follower. Like, clearly, you're one of 1,000 accounts that was made up overnight, a ghost account, to create fuzz. You know what I mean? Like, and it's impossible for me to address each and every one of those concerns, because I would never get any work done. And really, it's not even worth my time, to be honest with you. Like, to address something that's clearly not accurate, clearly just an assumption based off false information. You know what I mean? Like, but again, it's still our responsibility to mitigate and to give what we can information wise out to you guys. Yeah, it's a shady space in crypto, and we're trying everything that we can to make it a safer place, to make it a very transparent space, to where people can feel safe with their money, to where people can invest openly. Right now, a lot of the roadblocks that crypto is seeing in general, not just Saitama, but as a whole, is because of our reputation. People are like, oh, crypto? What is that? Don't they like buy guns on the black market? No, like, it's an actual cryptocurrency, and blockchain development is the future for financial literacy and financial economic infrastructures. Like, we can utilize this space to change the world if it's done properly. If it's not done properly, then we're going to continue to get that saltwater backwash where people have this portrayal of crypto that it's some evil place. And what are they going to do? And that's what banks want. They want to have that portrayal of crypto of being evil and degenerate. Why? Because they want people to keep their money in the bank. Because if I put $100 in my bank account right now, in my savings, they're going to give me 0.001% on that. That $100 a year from now will be $100.01. They're then going to take that $100, loan it to somebody else for a 20% APR, and they're going to make $1,000 off my $100. They keep $1,000, I get 1 penny. Tell me how that's justifiable, right? But that's how these 1% of the world have continued to get rich and richer. And like I was saying the other day, like, these people are born into it. They don't even have to put any of the work in. Which is like, hey, You're part of that, 1%. Congratulations. You're born on this day. Here's your $6 million trust fund. So what do I need to do to earn it? Nothing. You're just a part of this bank. Cool, thanks. So how do we redistribute the wealth? How do we get the money back into the people's hands? We give them an opportunity to control their money and their assets through cryptocurrency. That's how we change, not how we view crypto, but how we view the entire economy worldwide, not just in the United States, but everywhere. So that's how they do it. Anyways, I try not to get on too much of a tangent, but I'm passionate about it, so that it just makes me kind of annoyed that I see people trying to, not people, it's not general public, it's specific entities that are trying to steer us off course and making it so difficult for us to move forward that we'll eventually just give up. But we're not going to, right? If we were going to, I think we would have a long time ago. Right? But if anything, it's encouraged us, motivated us just to work that much harder, to wake up every day and be like, you know what, now it's personal. Like you push me in the playground, I'm going to push you back. Right? We're going to make our, like I said, we're making our stand, and we're going to make sure that we do everything in our power to keep pushing forward. And you know what? People get away with stuff until you make a fuss about it. And then when you start making things known and things become public, hey, now you got some answers, right? And then it kind of brings light to the situation. People start asking questions. Like, we want people to ask questions. We encourage people to ask questions, but just do it in the right capacity, because it's not always us trying to hide or do something. And we've never been deviant. We've always been transparent. So everything that we do, if there's a delay of any kind, it's not on our end, right? It's on other people's end. And if there's something going on that's causing these delays, then we need to look at why. What's the motive? Why would you hold this up? Why would you want this to happen? There's just a lot of different things that are kind of taking place in crypto space in general. And I foresee us being a major threat to that economic life cycle of the current crypto status. And having done what we're doing and creating the tech that we're creating, it creates waves, right? And nobody likes waves. Like I was talking about the other night, think about all the leaders in this world over the last 100, 200 years that have come out to make some sort of change, that have seen the bigger good, the greater good, the bigger picture, the philanthropists, JFK, Martin Luther King, Abe Lincoln, all these people throughout the course of history that have wanted nothing else but to create a better space and a better circumstance for the public, for the people. And think about all the scrutiny and pushback that they got. It was never an easy course, right? Every day they woke up with more scrutiny than they did support. But it's not about the people that wanted to push them down. It was about the other people that were lifting them up. So we have the support and the potential and the backing of every single member of this community to help pick us up when people push us down. And I just wanted you guys to know that we're here every step of the way, and we're not going to be pushed down, and we're not going to be pushed down. We're going to keep rising up, and we're going to keep fighting this fight, because now it's not, and like I said, it was never about the money. It's always been about the bigger picture, about creating a safe trading platform, creating a platform that you can do everything in one, a wallet that has NFT marketplace, that has education, that has everything involved in one singular platform, and making it easy, implementing a card to crypto system into our platform. So you don't need a trust wallet. You don't need a MoonPay. You don't need a Simplex. You guys know how much money MoonPay made last year off your money in transactions? Over $100 million they made. So what happens when, we'll say Tama rolls around and they offer a card to crypto payment system at a fraction of the fee? Do you think people are still going to utilize these Simplex and MoonPays of the world and put $100 million in their pocket? Fuck no. Of course not. Why? Because it's cheaper over here. And like, oh, well, how do we stop that? That's a lot of money. And do you think that money goes to one person? No, there's a lot of people that have their hand in that cookie jar, trust me. So when you're starting to talk about hundreds of millions of dollars and affecting generations of revenue streams, yeah, people are not going to be happy about that. So how do you stop that, right? You put roadblocks up. You make things so difficult that it's just easier to give up. Let's make things so complicated for these guys that all they want to do is just quit, right? Let's manipulate the price. Let's stall some of these things as long as possible, because let's be honest, if we don't have the community support, we're nothing. Without the community support, we don't exist. If everybody collectively decided to say, hey, I don't care what St. Thomas is doing, I'm pulling out my money, we would tank. No question about it. I don't care how much money I got in the bank. I don't care how much Max, MK, all them guys had. If the community decided collectively to just give up on us, we would tank. And that is the weakness. And it's not a weakness, it's a strength of us as well, because people try to get at the public. They try to get at our holders, get at our community to try to sway them. Like, you don't want to invest in St. Thomas. They don't follow through. All they do is party. They waste your money. They do this, they do that. It's all smoke and mirrors. Pull your money out. And if they can do that, then we think. And then they've succeeded, right? Because we no longer exist and we are no longer a threat. So they've won. But at the same time, they've also taken away the advantage of what we're trying to do and what we're actually trying to complete, and the tasks that we're trying to achieve, and the things in the history that we're trying to make here. And I'm not saying create history like on my soapbox. Like, these are literally things that we're trying to do. We're trying to create an ecosystem involved around cryptocurrency, and not just in the United States, but worldwide. Create a functional infrastructure based around blockchain development for the better of everyone. To take that money and give it back to the people. We're already have plans this year to travel around the world and look at how we can initiate a cryptocurrency deployment to better the people in that country, similar to what they're doing in El Salvador. And that is what crypto can do. Crypto and blockchain development can benefit the world greatly if utilized correctly and if it's in the right hands. But when you have people that are corrupt and they're trying to ruin the space, it will stay corrupt and it will stay ruined until somebody comes in and straightens it out, until it's governed, until it's given, a proper oversight, until there's people that can come in and say, hey, enough is enough. Let's make this what it's meant to be and blossom it into a functional ecosystem. That's what we can do, and that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to instill a lot of these things, and everything that we've done is all very tactful, and it's all built around the same concept of giving the power back to the people, giving the money back to people, giving people financial literacy through education and investments. Because again, you're entrusting us with that, and we don't take that lightly. And it's not about bettering ourselves to so we can pound our chest at the top of a mountaintop and say, hey, we're number one. Like, no, we want everybody to win. And it's not just St. Thomas, it's for all the cryptocurrencies out there. The ones that are out there with a legitimate cause, the ones that are out there trying to make a difference, the ones that truly do have a utility and that can really benefit the space. And we're not the only ones. There's a lot of coins out there, and it saddens me that a lot of these coins that have potential never even get out of the gate because they're so used to being surrounded by scam coins and rug pulls and all that stuff that these other coins, man, they can't last. They can't make it, because it's just such a dog eat dog world in crypto that they never even had a chance to get off the ground, and you can have the best developers, the best community, the best white paper, but if you don't have, X, Y, and Z in place, or if it takes one small ripple, and it tanks the entire thing. Not everybody has, the moxie to make it over these hurdles. So what we've seen take place over the last, several months is people just continue to put these hurdles in front of us, but we keep jumping over them, and the frustration is building. Not, on ours too, but on every other individual involved. Like, God, how are we going to stop these guys? Like, we just keep putting these hurdles in front of them, and they just keep jumping over them. And like, well, let's affect, like, we'll try to create market manipulation. Let's try to drive the price down. We'll try to, do all these different things to try to just tear them apart one by one. And we'll start with the community. We'll get the trust. They got the community's trust. How do we break that bond? How do we break that trust? We'll spread false information. Let's put some stuff out. Let's coordinate some massive sell-offs. And we'll say, hey, well, look, all the developers are selling all their coins. No, I'm buying coins. I never sold shit. But we'll make it look like the developers are. Like, I'm not even a top wallet. Well, some of you guys on this call probably have more than I do, and that's okay because it's not about the money. I don't care. It's all about perception at that point. They're like, oh, we'll say, oh, the developers are selling, or we'll coordinate a sell-off and we'll make it look like the price is tanking and everybody's backing out. But look at the holder count. How is it that everybody's selling, but our holders are now increasing every day? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. But it's all about perception. If you put something in somebody's face long enough, eventually they're going to believe it. So we have to now counteract that and come on and right? That's why we do weekly MAs. We want to instill the trust and make sure that it's still out there. We want to keep everybody abreast and informed of everything that we're doing, so there isn't any question. There's a lot of things that we can't control, unfortunately. And when you have people that are constantly pushing back, right, and constantly against us and what we're trying to do, it doesn't make it impossible. It just makes it difficult, right? So that's okay. I can deal with difficult. Right? I've been dealing with difficult for a long time, and nothing is ever easy. And if you ever want to achieve something as great as what we're trying to achieve, it's not going to be easy, or else everybody would do it, right? If becoming, a crypto superpower like we're trying to do and create in stillness and create these, financial freedom for all these people, if it was easy, everybody on this call would have their own coin. I promise you. But it's not, and it's not easy, and it's very difficult. And all the things that we've had to overcome, and the ridicule and the diversity, it hasn't broken us, right? It's made our foundation stronger, right? It's instilled trust. Like, to me, if I wasn't involved in Saitama at all, I was just an investor look on the outside looking in, I would say, man, these guys have been through hell and back. But look, I'm still kicking, right? I mean, that's building strong foundation for us to be able to overcome a lot of the things that we've had and still be here and still be considered a threat. And to me, they say, hey, these guys must be doing something right. Because if you don't have people trying to harm what you're trying to do, then let's be honest. I mean, you're not doing something right. You're playing by the rules, right? You're just following the herd. It's not the people that blend in with the herd. It's people that one lone wolf outside the pack that's doing different. It's like, hey, what's that guy? What's Bill doing over there? What's he sniffing? I mean, he must be on to something. Let's figure it out. And then one person comes over and like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing over here? Like, I'm being different. I'm trying to change the way, because where the direction you guys are headed doesn't necessarily mean it's the right direction. It's just where everybody is going. But is that the right way? I mean, maybe not. So we're trying to create a different direction and a different course for crypto, because I think all of us as visionaries foresee a better and brighter future, with the powers that be in crypto, than what we can do with it. It's important, and we try to push towards that every day. And I just kind of want to come on here, and I know I kind of got off on a little tangent, but I just wanted to let you know that there's a lot of adversity, right? We've been taking it on the chin for a long time, and we're not gonna anymore. We're gonna put our foot down and back. You know what? Enough is enough, and we'll put out information, and you guys can disseminate it however you want. We've been trying to be professional and do things, correctly and ethically, but nobody else is playing by the rules, right? Everybody else is doing whatever they want to do and being like, oh, we'll get away with it because we've been getting away with it for a long time. But not anymore, right? We'll put the information out there. I'm just start calling people out and say, hey, this is what it is. Now you need to explain to the public why you did this. Now you got 250,000 people or 230,000 or 300,000 people saying, hey, why did you guys do this? Explain. Justify yourself. We can't. Well, why not? Well, because we don't need to. Well, yes, you do, because we're consumers. You guys are consumers. Where does that money come from? It comes from you guys, right? So you guys have a right to know this stuff too, as consumers. Everybody has a right to know. This is a free world and a free market. Last time I checked, right? None of that stuff has changed. There is nobody in this crypto space that is better than anybody else. There is nobody. I don't give a shit who you are. You got to answer to somebody, and you got to answer to every single person in the crypto space, not just Saitama holders, but every other community out there. If you've been doing wrong for years, that doesn't make it right because you've been doing it wrong. It just means you've gotten away with it for a long time. But now you need to pay the piper, and you need to start giving some answers. Why are you guys under investigation? What did you do with this? How have you been manipulating the market? Why did you do this to Saitama? What is the delay for this? What is your reasons? Show me some facts. Give me some justification. Demand answers, right? That's what we're doing. We're demanding answers. Like, oh, I just haven't done it yet is not acceptable. Or hey, that's just how things go is not an acceptable answer. Why did you guys do? Oh, that was a mix-up. I'm sorry, but we don't do slaps on the wrist. We're a company with almost 300,000 people behind us. We don't do sorries. Right? We need answers and we need justifications. And if you can't justify it and you can't give us an answer, then I'll just send my legal team to you. Maybe you can explain it to them. That's why we are a company. That's why we have a legal. That's why we have attorneys. That's why we have the power that we have, because the people's voice is much more powerful than anything else on the planet, especially when you get enough people pushing towards the same concept, with the same motivation and drive. That's the most powerful movement on the planet. So we demand answers, and we want, we deserve them. You guys deserve them, right? And it's not fair for us to just keep taking it on the chin, right, and being at the front and absorbing the punches, right? And then because we feel like we have to, like I said, we have an obligation to every single member of this community. So when you guys, rightfully so, when you want answers and you want to know what the status is on these things, and we can't give you the answer that you want, or something that's maybe not justifiable, it's not because we're trying to be shady or we're trying to keep information. It's just because we're relaying information that we get. Is that information or lack of communication, is that acceptable? Absolutely not. And that's where we have to put our foot down and be like, no, we need answers. We need this. We need that. We need everything that you guys can give us plus more. Like, we have an obligation, right? And we're at the forefront. So you guys have to then tell us what we need to disseminate to our investors. Right? We're not a development team of 7, right? We're a community of 280,000. Everybody is entitled to an explanation of some kind, and that's what we try to be transparent and try to tell you guys all the time. We don't withhold any information. Sometimes we just don't have enough information, and if we don't have enough information, it kind of makes us look silly to come out and be like, oh, well, I don't really know. That's not confidence. That doesn't instill confidence. So again, that's what we're trying to do, and we're not going to take it anymore. We're just going to put our foot down and try to move forward progressively, because if we don't now, they won't stop. If it's not one entity, it'll be another. If it's not someone specific or a company, it'll be another company behind them, because we're affecting the linings of the pockets of a lot of people. And as we grow and release our tech, it's going to be really noticeable, and then the attacks will get heavier and that target will get bigger. They're going to start looking at quarterly earnings and quarterly revenue and be like, hey, what happened here? Everybody will get on a call and be like, we earned $150 million last quarter. We're down to 30 million this year. Why? What has happened? What outside force has created such a massive dip in our revenue stream? Because now you're affecting the lives of them. Like, well, we were doing things this way for a long time. We got away with it, and we were able to line our pockets. But now these other guys came along and started doing things the right way, and people have lost trust in us. They've lost faith in what we can do. Like, okay, well, maybe we should address that a long time ago. Well, you should have. But now somebody else has done it, and they've perfected what you've started, or they've made a better solution. So, and like I said, I'm just putting information out there. You guys can kind of disseminate it however you want, but this is just kind of my perspective on it, and I just want to kind of bring it up to everybody, because again, I'm not going to take it on the chin anymore. It's not fair for us to, and I think that a lot of these things should be made public, right? But you guys have a right to know. It's your money. It's not my money. It's yours. So as investors and as people in the crypto space, you deserve to know what's happening inside the crypto space. It is your right. You should be just as informed as anybody else. But if that information is not readily available, then where else are you going to get it? Because nobody else is going to come and tell you. You're not sure shit ain't going to read about it in the New York Times. You're not going to see it on Fox News, right? You might see it on a Reddit forum or Reddit post. It'll be overlooked. So it's our obligation also to put information out to you guys, because we have a voice that's loud enough, right? We can come on here and talk to people, openly, and you guys will know that everything I'm saying is transparent. Like, I'm not here to just fluff things and make shit up. I just speak from the truth, and you guys are open to make those, take the information I give you and do whatever you want with it. But at least I can try to put out the information available, make it available to you. That's our obligation. So anyhow, does anybody have any questions? I know I kind of rambled on a little bit, but let's see here. See if I can figure this thing out. Hang on. There's Trina. Hey Trina, how you doing? Did you have a question? I saw you in there.
Hi Russ. This is Trina. I met you in Vegas at
Yes.
the event. How are you? Every word. I just want you to know I do not have a question. I just have a statement. I'm so grateful for you, Russell, Armando, your family. I was well aware. You said this at the event, and you didn't have to say this. I had a feeling that you were using your own funds and sacrificing your family time to fight for economic equality for us. And nothing can stop people power. And I listen to the Wolfpack Daily Spaces. We have your back, Russ. My way to fight back. I'm a mama bear. I'm gonna continue to be an ambassador, an evangelist of this project, this movement. I talk about it to tens of thousands of people on Clubhouse on a weekly basis. The more they attack us, the more I buy. So I'm going to continue to pray for you and your family as you're fighting for us. I yield.
Awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's kind of the consensus I get, and it really is. And I'm not trying to target anybody or any. Like I say, I'm kind of targeting some specific entities, but it's the support from 99% of the people, and it's just the 1% that are trying to make so much waves, right? And like I said, it's not going to stop what we're doing. Like I've used the analogy of shooting a BB gun at a freight train. It's the same concept, right? But it's still, it still rings true. And there will always be people trying to stop what we're doing. It's just not going to happen. Like it just won't. It just won't. So let's see here. Anybody else question there?
You can drop me back down, Russ, to allow people to come up to speak in my place.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Upside, what's up, man? You got a question?
How's it going, Russ?
Hey, what's
community, Saitama Wolfpack. I just want to say, Russ, also a comment. Thank you so much to you, to the devs, and to everyone. I'm so grateful, so happy, and you really instilled a really strong and positive feeling inside me, and it's gonna last forever. So I just want to say I'm super grateful and super happy that you are who you are, and like Tina just mentioned, I'm never gonna stop supporting the Saitama Wolfpack. So yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the words of encouragement. And it is. It's the consensus for a lot of people that speak the same way and highly of the project, and they believe what we're trying to do. And I do, and I see it, and we appreciate the encouragement and everything, because that's what really motivates us to get up every day and keep striving to excellence and keep pushing the envelope, and to keep trying to accomplish things that we set out to accomplish in the beginning. And it's not that we didn't wake up yesterday and say, hey, this is what we want to do. This was the hindsight from the beginning, and we collectively, as a development team in the community, like, we saw a need to make a change. Like, you know what, if nobody else is gonna, like, we need to, somebody needs to, somebody needs to step up. And the more people that we get behind us in this movement to try to create something, the better off we're all going to be. And not just the Wolfpack and people that are involved in Saitama, but crypto in general. Right? Because now is the time to make these changes, because crypto is becoming more and more adapted, more and more accepted, and I look at just what happened, with the Staples Center, $700 million deal, crypto.com. That's insane. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about just the movement for crypto. Like, that puts us on the map. That gives us the kind of motivation to get something done, to get our place in this, because it's not going anywhere. It's gotten so much bigger. Just look at where we've come in 2021, and not Saitama, but crypto. So a lot of people in crypto started out January, when Elon Musk tweeted about Dogecoin. Everyone was like, what's crypto? What's Dogecoin? Elon Musk is talking about. Let me check it out. Everybody bought Dogecoin, right? From then on, the leaps and bounds that crypto has made has been just astronomical. and making things like that. The Staples Center buyout crypto.com, the commercials, the ads. Everywhere I go now, I see ads for QB, Binance, crypto companies, XRP, Ripple, like all these things. You never saw that 6 months ago. You didn't see that 3 months ago. So think about that and the progression we've made just over this short amount of time. So think about that. It reminds me of like the .com era, right? So we all started seeing that when Macintosh and Apple, they came out and they started creating these domains, the .com swing, right? There was computers being put in school. Everyone's like, the internet, what the hell is the internet? Electronic mail, how does that work? Like, is that going to replace traditional mail? Everything happens. It's a digital age. People want now. They want immediate. So that's crypto. It's immediate. If I want to send money to my cousin in Italy, I can send him $100 in less than 30 seconds. Traditionally, before crypto, I would have to do a wire fund. I would have to go to the bank. I would have to pay these fees. I would have to. That $100 that I sent to my cousin in Italy would be $37 by the time he actually got it, and it would take 2 weeks. Now I send him $100, he gets it within 30 seconds, and he can spend it within 5 minutes. That's the power of crypto, and that's the power of digital assets. And who does that threaten the most? These big banks, right? Because that $100, they took 77% off the top before it actually reached the consumer. So they pocketed $77. The consumer got 33. Who wins that battle? And it took 2 weeks, months. This is where we're going. It's that new era that we want it now and we deserve it now, kind of mentality, right? And that's the future. That's the wave of crypto. And as we roll out into this digital age with the metaverse and AI and VR, that's going to make things even more easier, more accessible. And you intertwine that with kind of these, with this COVID outbreak and stuff, people are less susceptible to go into bigger crowds, right? They're less susceptible to go into crowded banks and malls and things like that. People now, especially with the COVID, are doing more online shopping than they ever have before because they don't want to go to these crowded areas because they feel for their safety. They feel for all these different restrictions and things that are involved. So now you implement more digital currency, you implement more technology. And this is the future. So the .com era is the same as now with crypto. It's the same feeling I had back then as I do now. Like that we're in for a giant change of how we conduct business and how we conduct our day-to-day lives, essentially. And if we can intertwine that and be involved heavily, like, of course, it makes sense. So we have to educate people on how that works. Was there people talking about computers and the internet and doing seminars and creating education and content? Like, look, now you can take, any kind of course at any single college, a community college. They're even teaching that stuff in high school and middle school. Like, my son goes to elementary school and he takes classes and he does stuff online or through the computer. So we have to then create education and educate the public on what crypto is and how we can utilize what blockchain development and cybersecurity, and we can instill that stuff and make it accessible. The better off we're all going to be. Right now, the only coursework you can get on cryptocurrency and blockchain development is through MIT, and it costs a shit ton. So if we make it affordable, right, and when we make it accessible and available to the general public, that's huge because that just pushes the masses further down the road to financial literacy and cryptocurrency, education. And that's a lot of things people push back on as well. Like, they prefer people to be blinded. They want to kind of funnel the information and have it be very, very small. Like, the big picture has never been a good idea. Like, the mainstream media does it all the time. They just want to give you little bits of information here and there to just enough for you to generate an opinion based on what they want you to think. It's the same concept with cryptocurrency, with any kind of finances. Like, here's just a little bit of information, and you can drive anybody to think what you want them to think if you disseminate the information in the proper way. So if we open up those floodgates and just allow access to all this information and the proper information and the tools and the education to make your own collective decision, then that in itself is a threat. Right? Then you're not disseminating the information to how you want it, but you're allowing people access to the whole matrix and saying, now you make up your own mind. So, let's see here we go. Faltron, what's up, man? You hear us? Oh, go ahead, man. You can talk.
Sorry, Russ, I had to step outside. Hey, thanks for doing this. I just wanted to reiterate some points that previous people made. I think you're doing a great job. I kind of like this fighting spirit that's developing. I think a lot of people see through all the BS. I know even the CEO of Crypto.com yesterday came out and said something against Coin Market Cap and said they're going to be looking for a new way to generate the pricing. So yeah, things, man. I know you don't hear this a lot, but you're doing a great job. Everybody on the team's doing a great job. And I, for one, am probably one of the few people that like these attacks. I think they're great because it means we're holding on to something special. Honestly, like it's done nothing but strengthen my resolve personally. So, but I do think, people in the community, maybe we need to do, I'm talking me personally, not you, but maybe some of us need to educate people on how some of these things work behind the scenes, because one thing people don't realize is that there actually are paid fudders, people that are on the payroll to trash projects. But yeah, that's all I got, Russ. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for doing a good job. And for the whole dev team, you guys are awesome. You guys are killing it. Shib went through the same thing. And then, in 2020, about the same exact time. And then on Q1 of the next year, they pretty much blew up. So I think that's the direction we're headed to. Anyway, thanks, Russ.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're 100%, man. And especially with the paid fudders, like I've had people specifically come to me and say, "Hey, man, you never know, but so and so offered me $100,000 to create a YouTube video to specifically FUD Saitama." And I'm like, who the hell has $100,000 or more to pay somebody to sabotage what we're doing? Like, I could think of a million other things I would rather spend $100,000 on than to try to purposely ruin what somebody else is doing that I'm not even involved in. You know what I mean? Like, if people are doing something that I don't agree with or whatever, like I'll just move on, right? It doesn't affect me. Like I don't need to go try to bash what they're doing. Like, hey, by all means, it's a free world. Last time I checked, you can do whatever you want. But to purposely go out of your way to try to do that is just, to me, makes no sense. Morally or financially. More importantly, right? It's a lot of money. So, and what are you hoping to gain from that? I guess maybe you get a couple people to remove their position. Like that's not going to do anything. You hit. I mean, maybe in the early on days, like, and we did see that quite a bit, right? There were some YouTube videos circulating around where people were trying to track wallets and like, oh, this, that, and the other. And again, that comes down to putting out bits and pieces of information. Just not really the overall picture, but just a little bit, right? Just enough to give you a false sense of what's really happening, right? I could tell you, that give you a little bit of information about really anything and can persuade your mind on a psychological level to get you to think whatever I want you to think. Like that's psychology 101, that's marketing 101. That's the whole premise of it. And you can use it effectively or you can use it to tear something down, tear it apart. So why people would go out of their way to do that, to me, is like, man, okay, if you got that much time, energy, effort, and more importantly, money to try to sabotage what we're doing, you must really be afraid, right? You must really be concerned about what we're doing, or you see us as a threat to your well-being somehow. But that's never been what we're about. Like, you'll never ever catch me coming on Twitter or an AMA or a YouTube live bashing another project. Like, I think that's great. The more people that we can get involved with crypto is better. We all win, right? No, I say that to say this. Like, I don't encourage. I want people to do it in the right way, right? Like, I don't encourage people to sell one position to buy another, because then all you're doing is really rolling the dice. But there's a lot of other companies and crypto coins out there that are trying to do good things too. You just have to know how to look and try to siphon them out and figure out which one's best for you. I tell people all the time, like, find a company or coins that you are passionate about, that you believe in, and invest in them. The rest of it will work itself out. If you have a coin that has a vision, they have a purpose, they're trying to do the right thing, The development team is strong, the community is strong. The white paper is good, the roadmap is solid, the tokenomics are structured. There's not a lot of red flags. Yeah, get in early, man. Get in early and ride that 10x, ride that 100x. But it doesn't matter. It should never matter what the price is today, because it's always going to be long term. The people that are new to crypto, they hear their buddy Steve got into crypto, he put $100 in, and it's now worth 10 grand, right? And that's great. It happens. Millionaires are made in cryptocurrency every day. Thomas specifically has pumped out more millionaires than any other Fortune 500 company in the last 100 years in the relative time, right? So yeah, it's there. But what happens is people that kind of go in and get involved in a coin, and it's a scam and it's a rug pull, and they have these intentions on doing a quick 10x or 100x, and they put their $100 in, and then they lost it, right? Now it's gone. And they're like, well, shit, now I need to make up that $100 I just lost. Oh, let me put it in this coin, because I'm going to make up what I lost there and make more, just to find out that they lost money over there too. And I'm not saying that it's the case with a lot of the coins, because there is a lot of coins that do have a lot of potential. You just have to know where to look, and you need to know which ones are solid, which ones are not. And the only way to do that is to educate people on what those look like, what those red flags are, what to look for as far as the coding. And you can't get that information anywhere right now. Even if you look, you have to ask somebody, or you need to watch 1,000 YouTube videos and read 100 different Reddit forums and posts. So what we're trying to do is eliminate that with our platform, and trying to make it available for people. Like, hey, we're only going to allow projects that we know aren't scandalous, right? Will they do well? I don't know. I mean, they have the right pieces in place, but we don't control these other coins. Like, I don't control the outcome of any other project. I have no idea, but I do know that they have the right pieces in place, right? I know that they have the agenda is there, and whether or not it's successful, is anybody's guess. But we can at least eliminate some of that, that threat or that risk. We can absorb a little bit of that risk, if you will. But that, trying to create a safer trading environment, because right now it's like the wild, wild west out there. And a lot of these coins, man, you look at it, and I know how to read code, right? I know how to look at the tokenomics and see and kind of go behind the curtains and look. And I can tell you a lot of these coins I see pop up, of the 10 that populate every day, of the 20 maybe, they're all copied and paste code and white papers from coins that were rugged 2 months ago. It's the same developers. They just change their avatar. It's the same wallets that are tracked to the same ones. And it's like over and over and over again. It's like, but until we have regulations and put in place, until somebody comes out and says, this is enough, like, you guys got to stop that shit. We can't stop it indefinitely, but we can educate the public, right? And we can create a platform that's safe for people to trade on. We can educate the public on how to do their own research, because you tell people all the time, do your own research. Okay, what does that mean? What do you mean, do your own research? How do I do my own research? Like, I don't understand what that means. Like, I just downloaded Trust Wallet or Coinbase yesterday. Like, I don't know what that means. It took them 3 hours to figure out how to buy Ether, or how to buy Ethereum. They don't know what do your own research means. So, having some of that education content out there, creating a safe trading platform, creating, that trust factor in the space. And that's where we're very, specific on what we do, and there were some instances in the past where we did the AMA with that coin that got rugged. And that was nothing that we could have foreseen happening. I think we all kind of know there, it was just unforeseen, tragic, whatever, just stupid decisions all around by everybody involved. It's nothing that we could have foreseen, but it made us kind of reevaluate how we do things. I'm like, okay, let's put this on pause. Let's figure out a more structured element to this, to where we can now take things a little bit more serious, like take things, from a different approach. We had to revamp how we bring in coins for our platform, so that we don't, so we learn from it and we adapt and we overcome, and we try to create, a way for us to, relay that to the community and instill the trust. Because without the trust in the community, we don't have anything, right? Like I said in the beginning, we don't have what we need, the foundation, the building blocks moving forward, if we don't have anybody else there to support us. And once that reputation is tarnished, then we really have anything. So, yeah, so I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Let's see here. Sarah, Hi, Sarah. I'm gonna let you talk. Okay, there you go. Do you have questions, Sarah? Or you just come and say hi?
Oh, hi. Russell, thank you so much for all your hard work, and to the entire team. I am interested in learning more about your plans for NFTs with the platform on the white paper, and also interested to know the priority for the team in terms of the protocol versus the, I don't know if this is the right word to use, but dApps.
Yeah. So okay, so our NFT platform, we have been doing NFTs like on OpenSea, just like everybody else, but we are actually right now in the process of creating our SATA Maker, our SATA Mask platform, to where our NFTs will be launched exclusively on our own platform. Like, we won't have to utilize OpenSea, we won't have to utilize internet, so it'll minimize some of the mining fees and the transactions, and we can then also launch NFTs on a bigger scale, not just one at a time, but we can mint several hundred and make them available to the community that way, right? We can't do to try to produce and sell NFTs on a grand scale through, say, OpenSea right now is virtually impossible. You have to do it one at a time, and you pay a shitload in mining fees. So we're in the process of constructing our NFT platform right now. We were hoping to have it out by the end of the year, but with the holidays and stuff, I would say our NFT platform probably mid-January will probably be available, and then we'll integrate that into our SATA Mask as well, probably Q1, Q2. I think Q1 is what was on the roadmap. So that's our NFT platform's under construction right now, and it'll make NFT trading, buying, selling way easier. So as far as our protocol, like, and what's important to us and our priorities, we have our roadmap, short-term, long-term goals and perspectives of what we want to do and what we want to get done. Of course, SATA Mask being at the top of the list, right? Like, it's done, it's ready to go. We're put all our information through Google and Apple and the Play Store and App Store to get our product launched on there as soon as possible. That is number one priority for us, is to make our tech, because it's really what it's all about. Everything that we do from here on out is going to be geared towards the SATA Mask and building it out. Whether it's our payment systems, our NFT platform, our SATA education, our SATA social, our gaming platform, all that stuff is going to tie into our SATA Mask. And then, of course, incorporating different aspects such as metaverse and things like that. But that's kind of a little bit more long term. So that's kind of our immediate focus right now. And again, we still will have exchanges that we're focusing on too. I understand that people may or may not want to use SATA Mask right off the bat because they want to see how it functions, they want to see how well it does, maybe get some reviews and some feedback from users before they make that integration over to the SATA Mask and SATA Wallet. So we'll still, that's always there, having exchange platforms. Like, as our volume increases, and for you guys that don't know, is major exchanges, tier one exchanges or tier two, or any of them really, they make a living on transactions, right? They ride or die by transactions. So the more transactions that take place on their platform, the more money they make. It's a commission. So if you do a deposit, you're paying a commission on it. You do a withdrawal, you're paying a commission on it. If you're swapping Ethereum for Saitama or USDT for Saitama, you're paying a commission on it. That's how they make money. Most of the time, they don't really care what the project does. They just want to see the volume. So when you have more volume, they want to bring you on board because they want to get a piece of it. Like, okay, what's hype right now? What's the next popping coin, or what's the next coin that's going to do $50 million in volume a day? Okay, let's get these guys on our platform, right? And so that's always going to be a vision, because we understand that people are more comfortable in using some of these exchanges. They have them on their phone. They know they're connected to their bank. They've already KYC'd. So that's always there, right? And even after we launch our wallet, we'll still launch on every other exchange that we can. The goal is to be listed on every exchange, and it will happen over time. We get a lot of free listings all the time, just not like major exchange, like top 10 ones, because they want to get paid, of course. But the goal is to have it available everywhere, because we understand that people are more comfortable trading on different platforms, and they may not be as comfortable in transitioning right away to the SATA Mask. Of course, we encourage people to do so, just based on our staking capabilities alone. You know, with the dynamic staking, and Max, I think we talked this morning, he's going to do an AMA here at some point, hopefully in the next week or two, to discuss in detail what that staking is going to look like. You know, we're getting to 2% now, which is great. It's passive income, but with the staking and the dynamic staking structure the way that it is, like, it's insane. We're talking about like crazy amounts of passive income. People, you can just live off the passive income, even if you stake it for 30 days, you know, or 180 days, and you just draw out the reflections 180 days. Like, that's enough money for people to live on, you know, and the token value just goes up, and it's great. But you don't even have to touch it. You know, you just pull out the reflections and you can live off of it. So that's part of our initial, you know, long-term, short-term priorities. We have a lot of just so many other things that we're working on, and you know, a lot of these things will come to fruition. And I know that, you know, we had talked in the past, and the whole thing with the you know, with the fight and the KuCoin, you know, in order for us to not over promise and under deliver, like, I don't want to get into detail about some of our other short-term priorities and goals that we're doing, just because I don't want to get any backlash for it. And I think it's important for us to maintain that relationship with the community and to instill that trust factor. So yeah, that's just something that we're trying to do. But there's a lot of other things that we're going, but those are the major ones. We want to focus, of course, on the exchanges. Our NFT marketplace coming out, State of Mask priority number one. You know, our gaming platform, Gabe is probably one of the most unique guys that I know, and he's working just ridiculous hours on our gaming platform. He's doing his Wolfcaster 1992 thing, the retro gaming. We got some other trilogy games and stuff that we're working on, and some other tech, you know, with our hardware wallet that Max is working with his engineers and stuff on. And there's just a lot of really cool things that we're working on behind the scenes that we're hoping to just roll out. You know, 2022 is really going to be, I would say, the biggest milestone of our, you know, young career as a company and as a community. There's just a ton of things that are coming up, and that's going to really just set the foundation for us moving forward. You know, and from there, we'll just continue to grow and branch out. You know, and I've kind of talked about it in the past, about how I want to have some physical locations and satellite offices to where we're putting people through our, you know, Department of Education certified coursework and bringing them on as interns for OJT, and then placing them out into the real world, into, you know, into the society with paid jobs as far as blockchain development and cybersecurity, and or keeping them on as paid employees through Saitama LLC, because we want to have our own, you know, gaming development platform, our own infrastructure, and where we're completely independent from everybody. We don't need to rely on a single soul to operate on a daily basis. You know, whatever that means, and whatever direction we want to go, it's always been the premise and the focus for us to maintain our independence and not have to rely on anybody. Because as you guys have seen, when it comes to us having to rely on other people for things, we get delays, we get pushback, we get scrutiny, we get, you know, obstacles unnecessarily. So the more independent that we can become, and whatever that means, the better off we're all going to be. Whether that's creating our own tracking system, like a similar to CMC, if we're doing our own DEX version, our own education portals and stuff, everything that we can do, we want to do it ourselves. We don't want to have to rely on anybody. And if that means we need to create an entirely new division of Saitama and bring in some outsourced help and bring in, you know, community members and, you know, paid employees, and absolutely. Because when you're running a company, there's a lot of different things that come into play. It's not about, you know, just hype and doing this, that, and the other. Like, we want to generate revenue so we can bring in paid employees. You know, once you start generating revenue, and as an operable LLC, as money comes in, we have to have expenses as well. So if that means having physical locations and W-2 employees and healthcare plans and all that, that's exactly what we'll do. And that's what really separates us from a lot of the competition as well, because we have so many people involved that have a business savvy background and that know how to run a successful company, and understand the ins and outs, and how we incorporate the traditional business aspect into a cryptocurrency world is really not that difficult, because they operate the same. It's just a matter of guidance and pushing it in the right direction. So I know there's kind of a lot to regurgitate, but yeah, it's the same concept, and that's what our goals are, short and long term. So
Awesome. That's really fantastic. Congratulations. And I see the vision. It's so big. And that's what I think attracts this vast majority of people to the project is the vision. So kudos there. And also would love to learn more at a later date. We don't have to go down the rabbit hole on the game developer platform, but just I am interested, if you want to address it now, great, about the game developer ecosystem and how you plan to attract those game engineers to get on board.
Awesome. Yeah, and I can just kind of touch on it quickly. We have a whole team of engineers that we actually work with right now that are creating our play to earn games. Working with Gabe and his industrial design team. So I would say, the whole, like, there's a lot of moving parts under the hood with Saitama. I know that, like, a lot of times you guys just see me or Max or Aaron or Steve or anybody like out in the public, doing AMAs and all that stuff, which is great. But collectively, I would say we're 7 developers, but I would say we're probably closer to 100 actual people that are putting in just tons of time and energy into this project, whether they're engineers on the tech platform, whether they're moderators and helping with our merchandise and NFTs, or our creative design team for marketing, and Aaron doing our charity work and different promotions, or specifically to this question, the folks, the engineers, are putting together our gaming platform. These are people that you won't see on Twitter or you won't see on an AMA because they're under the hood, working on gaming and constructing the 3D animations and the graphics and rendering all these things. But collectively, I would say we're probably about 100 right now. My goal is to reach, a massive number to where we have 500 employees, directly responsible for creating our gaming platform. And we have the State of Studios already underway to where we're creating these NFTs and gaming. And it'll be all tied into our Zeta mask, and like I said, eventually inside the metaverse. But that's so there's a lot of people involved in there, and Gabe's done really well at networking because he comes from that industry already. He was previously employed with Vice and ran a team there, and he's been with Saitama obviously as a developer since day one. So he brings a lot of creativity and connections and networking to Saitama that we depend on, and a lot of other people obviously involved. It's really serendipitous how this all came to be, because we all bring a different niche to Saitama. It wasn't initially thought of that way, and it wasn't planned by any means. It just kind of happened where it's like, oh, we took over as a renounced project and we just brought it to fruition to what it is today. But we all bring something unique to the space, and we all have our own unique ability to do and carry out business on a daily basis, whether it be IT development with Max, and like I was talking about with the gaming and Gabe, and and Aaron does our marketing, and everybody does something unique and critical to what we do. It's just a lot of moving parts that maybe not be seen at all times. But there's, aside from just the developers, every one of us has a a group of people and moderators and people that help out every day that are putting in just countless hours creating something unique to this space. And it's the dedication of those 100 people that really makes this thing move. It's not me on here talking to you guys, it's the 99 other people sitting behind the desk with a computer plowing away right now that are moving this machine at the rate that we've been able to move thus far. Now you don't get 300,000 holders and accomplish the things that we've done just by me talking to you guys or Gabe doing design. Like, it takes a whole community to do what we've done. And more importantly, we wouldn't have gotten to the level we are now just with the tech and the things that we were trying to create and disseminate. It's the people out here in the community that are really the driving force, right? Those are the kind of the unsung heroes, right? The people on this call, the people that are at the bus stop telling the dude sitting next to them about Saitama. They're wearing their Saitama hoodie at the mall, and they're like, hey, people come up and they're like, hey, what's Saitama? Oh, let me tell you about this, man. You're not involved here. Let me show you how to download a trust wall. You know what trust wall is? No? Okay, here, let me get you some Ethereum. You know how to do that? No? Here, let me teach you. I don't know how many times I've sat up on the phone and talked to friends and family and how do I get, man, I see you're doing great things with Saitama. I don't know anything about crypto. Give me a crash course. Okay, let me give it to you. Right? Let me show you how it works. So that multiplied by 280,000 people is really the driving force. Because I promise you, without a doubt in my mind, every single person on this feed right now has, at some point or another, walked somebody through the process of downloading Trust Wallet, downloading Coinbase, buying Saitama or buying Ethereum, and teaching them. Right? We're all teachers because crypto is so new that we have to be. There's just not enough content out there, and there's not enough recognition, for people to do their own research and to figure out a way to do it on their own. So it's our almost responsibility, and it's not a responsibility like it's a burden or a task, but it's something that we want to do because it's somebody that we care about. Whether it's a friend of yours or a family member, like you want them to succeed too. You want them to do well. I have every single one of my friends and family involved in Saitama. Every single one of them. Like I cannot tell you somebody in my contact list that is not a Saitama holder. Even if it took me setting up their wallet and doing it for them just to get them on board because I want to see them succeed. And a perfect example, like even my own dad, he came down for Father's Day in June of this last year. He's old and he fell asleep on my couch at like 8 p.m. So when he fell asleep, I grabbed his phone and I downloaded Trust Wallet and I sent him Saitama. At the time, I sent him $300. $300 worth of Saitama, downloaded his wallet when he was asleep. And right now, even at the dip that we're in right now, is still worth like 200 and something $1,000. The $300 I gave him on Father's Day is now worth $200,000. And that was just me giving him $300 worth of coins in June. But to him, that's more money than he's ever had. He lives on Social Security, doesn't have a retirement, doesn't, what I mean? So that's a lot of money for someone like that. And it's a lot of money for anybody. But more importantly, it was me trying to make a difference, right? To reach out to people that I know and want them to be successful, want them to be able to have some financial stability, and not right now, right? And not that they can cash out and buy a car or something right now, but I mean like down the road, like a year from now, because even now, if somebody holds a small amount of Saitama, we'll say 10 billion coins, whatever that is, a couple $100. Next year, this time next year, 10 billion coins could be worth $100,000. So it may not be a lot right now, but I promise you down the road, it'll be a ton. So even now, I'm still encouraged, like, well, is it too late to get in? I feel like maybe I missed the ship because you guys have already done 1,000,000% or whatever crazy number that is. Like, no, not at all. I mean, would have been nice to get in maybe a little earlier, sure, but it doesn't really matter because the direction, the vision we have, and where we're going, it's going to be directly reflective of our price. And because we are DeFi, that brings an entirely new animal into the infrastructure. Nobody has lived long enough to understand what DeFi can really do. There isn't a DeFi coin out there that has lived its full life cycle to really figure out what that burn mechanism does, what that deflationary token really means. So we may have launched with an extraordinary amount of circulating supply, but we've burned 56 quadrillion coins so far. That is an absolute ton, the 56% of our circulating supply. We started off at 49, so that tells you that we've burned 7 quadrillion coins in the last 7 months. And that's with a low volume. I mean, when we first started, the first several months, we were only doing like 500,000 a day. I mean, even today, we're only like 15 million. So when we start burning, a quadrillion coins every month or less, if we're in 100 million, volume per day, it's insane because the way that the code is actually written is we're going to burn more coins the longer we go, or in progression. So what that's going to look like when, as far as circulating supply and when that burn mechanism actually starts to be noticeable, is tremendous. And DeFi is so new that nobody has, like I said, their life cycle hasn't been long enough to truly see what it means when your circulating supply gets so diminished based purely on the burn mechanism and how that correlates to the price. So I'm interested to see, of course, couple that with all, the other gazillion things that we have going on. That's just a factor that, people have to kind of understand too, like just the burn alone and the reflections, that does tremendous. So yeah, that's it's crazy to think about to me, but the price point at this point, and that getting people involved, right? That, I think that's kind of what we were talking about at the beginning, is having people be, kind of the spokesperson for Saitama and getting people to walk through it. That's really been a driving force, I think, because, without that, we're not at 280,000 holders. And as we grow and we get more people involved, now we have 300,000 people talking to Bob at the bus stop. Now we got 400,000 people, on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Now we got, 1 million people talking to somebody at a party, somebody at the bar, anywhere, or rocking their Saitama hoodie at the airport, right? I travel a lot, so I always wear my merch everywhere I go. And people all the time ask me, "Hey, I've seen this shirt before. What is that, man? What's Saitama?" I tell them, it's a crypto coin, man. Look into it. And I'll give them our website or whatever. The TSA guy, he was like, "Hey, what's that?" I was like, "What's Saitama, man? I've been seeing this thing. People TSA, they see millions of people a day. It's like, this is like the third time I've seen a Saitama hoodie today. What is it?" That's potentially one more holder, right? Because they saw it out there. People were talking about it. So, anyways, yeah. So I forget what I was saying, but that's kind of the premise of that. What's up, Falcon? You got a question? Hold on, man. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I just wanted to say that the charts are responding very positively to this AMA. There's a nice big green candle. I don't know if there's a correlation, but it sure is nice to see while this is happening. But I did get a question in my DM. Chocolate was asking if we could, you could maybe start doing these regularly and recording them to put on the website. Just because there are a lot of questions that come up, and we do our best to answer them in some of these spaces, but it's better to hear it straight from the source. I mean, check the charts. I think people are pretty happy to see you speak. And if you need help doing something like that, I volunteer my time. I do these spaces regularly, so I'm a little, I'm pretty quick on the draw when it comes to kind of running these from the background. I can keep my trap shut and just press all the buttons if you need, if you need some help ever. So.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I mean, I would love nothing more than to talk to you guys like all day long. Honestly, I would, because I love. For one, I'm just a super nerd, right? And I love crypto. I love tech. I love everything about it, and I'm extremely passionate about it. Saitama, more so than I've ever been about anything in my life. Even when I was running my own business, I don't think I had as much passion towards it as I did as I do now with Saitama. But I don't have that capability most days. I think maybe I could try. I mean, we do our AMAs once a week on Friday, but even then, I sometimes have to cut it short, 30 minutes, just because I'm literally on calls so much all the time, creating, different relationships, networking, and talking, business operations, and bringing in, new people into the space and trying to connect the dots. So it makes it difficult. But yeah, I would love to, come on here. And this was kind of, wasn't forecasted or anything. I just had a break looking at my calendar. I'm like, oh, I got a break for another hour or two. Let me hop on this Twitter space real quick. But yeah, so it's something that I would absolutely love to come on and do. I love, and a lot of people too that have been in Saitama for a long time. And I mean, like early on, like, when we first launched in June, like I was in Telegram like 18 hours a day, and I would literally welcome every single new person that joined our Telegram channel. Like every single new person. Welcome to Saitama. If you have any questions, let me know. Welcome to Saitama. If you have any questions, let me know. Literally every single person. Like it didn't matter if you were someone there trying to sell me a YouTube channel. I still greeted you and answered your questions. And now, like, it's impossible to do that now, of course. But yeah, and I love coming in here and talking about it. I love talking to the community, man. I mean, most of you guys I've seen around, we've been through the ups and the downs, and I consider everybody here like family, man. We've been through so much in the last 8 months that if it was up to me, I would talk to you guys all the time, all day. But I think to answer your question, I think if I could easily put some time aside, right, and schedule it so I could come on here maybe once or twice a week, aside from our AMA, and just open a forum and just open forum to the community and talk about whatever we can. And there's some stuff, and there will always be things that I can't talk about for legal purposes, and again, not wanting to put the cart before the horse. And as I had mentioned before, we want to be really meticulous about how we're putting out information, through our main channels when it comes to major announcements, exchange listings, things like that. And we'll continue to do that, but I can always come on here and talk to you guys and answer generic questions, clear up any confusion about things that may be, going on, or people have some second thoughts and second guesses about what we're doing, what our motivation is. And I know that silence is never good, right? I mean, when people, I could see people get stir crazy. Like if I'm not on here talking to people or, addressing certain things, like, oh, these guys are being quiet, they must be slowly backing out. And that's why it was important for me to come on here today, just because I get a feel for these things, right? I'm in tune with the community and I'm in touch with the company and how people react and just, to not only the market but to St. Thomas specifically. And Christmas can be a really difficult time, not only for crypto but for stocks in general and investing. People have to understand a lot of crypto is new. They don't understand the trends, right? But if you were a crypto investor last December, you would know that markets take a hit during the holidays. We have people that are taking out profits for taxes. You have people that are taking out money for holidays, for gifts, for travel expenses, for business opportunities, whatever, right? Everybody knows that, and not everybody, I take that back, but some people do. And if you don't know, now you do, right? The holidays, November, December holiday time frame, sometimes into January, it gets a little bit bearish, right? It does. And it's not any one specific catalyst that's creating that. It's just a general concept for investing in general. It kind of slows down during this time frame. I think last year it kind of picked up a little bit in January and then really started to pick up momentum into February, and then March just took off. I think this year I don't think we'll have to wait until March to re-enter the bear season. Or the bull season. I think we'll probably start to lift off probably closer to January, February. That's specific to the entire market, right? The big coins, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think we could see that happen earlier this year because there's a lot more money in crypto now and people are very passionate about it. And I don't think we'll have to wait until March till we start revving up our engines again. St. Thomas specifically, of course, we operate on our own spectrum, but we still are in tandem, right, with Ethereum. We're an ERC20 coin. So what Ethereum does directly affects what we do. And if you guys understand how pairings work, essentially if one Ethereum equals one Saitama, if the price of Ethereum is 4,000 and Saitama is worth 4,000, without a single buy and sell, if Ethereum drops, so will Saitama. That's how pairings work, right? So if, but it works retroactively the same. If Ethereum goes up, Saitama will go up. Now you throw some extra buys in there, it just goes up faster. So that's how pairings play a big pivotal role into our price directly and other ERC20 coins too. Or if you are, if you're on the Bitcoin blockchain, it's the same concept. It just, works with a different coin. But so we'll re-enter that. And of course, we kind of dictate our own future. We're not necessarily, privy to what the other market's doing a lot of times, because there's been plenty of times where Saitama has been just mooning and other coins, the bigger coins are taking nosedives. But now that we're starting to get some stability and we're starting to correlate with the market, we can anticipate these kind of things, and there's a little bit more data to analyze on that side. So, but yeah, to answer your question, I got no problem coming on here and talking to you guys a little bit more often. If it was up to me, I'd come on here all the time.
Right, and even if it was, once a week or bi-weekly or something, I think the chart, I pinned it up top. If you guys want to take a look, the chart's definitely responding positively to it. But anyway, I know you're busy, so. But anytime, like I said, I'll volunteer my services. If you want me to be the button pusher, I can kind of help do some of the side work in the background. So, yeah, let me know. Can I ask one more question? I know I'm kind of hogging up your time, but in my opinion, I would love to see CytoMask released towards the middle of January, maybe towards early January. Is that even if it's released, if CytoMask is released sooner, are you guys essentially going to try to get it launched as quickly as possible, or are you possibly going to wait for a slightly better, beginning of the year bull run market?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit and tried to analyze it. Like I said, we can't really make that decision until it's available. So as an example, I think we don't want to let the community wait anymore. We have to. We're obviously not going to, if Certi comes back and says, hey, you guys are good to go, it's Christmas Eve, we probably aren't going to launch at Christmas Eve, let's just be honest. But I think that a lot of people have been waiting long enough, and us specifically too, right, have been waiting forever, it seems like. So I'm not going to wait for favorable market conditions. If we're kind of turtling around the bottom a little bit and the market's just kind of hanging tough, we'll probably release it. But again, I'm not. If they come back, say Christmas Eve, and say it's ready to go, like no, I'm not going to release it Christmas Day. It's not going to do any good. But so we'll see. But we don't have intentions on holding it back from anybody until it's convenient for us, right? Because there's enough people that have been waiting long enough to utilize this platform, right? Us keeping it for ourselves, it would just be selfish at that point. But again, it just really depends on what that is. Like if it were to come out today, hypothetically, like we would give it to you tomorrow. You know, that's I think. Well, I say that without having Max on here to back me up, but I'm sure he would want to make sure that everything is good because he's a perfectionist in everything he does, and he would want to make sure that everything is legit, everything is squared away, and that we're not going to have any glitches, and it's not going to, you know, we're not going to release a, you know, he would run his beta on it real quick. We would correspond with, you know, Apple and Google and make sure that they're good and there's no, you know, hiccups or gimmicks. And what's crazy to me too is I've seen some fake SataMask apps on the platform, right? People are trying to get to connect their wallet so they can, you know, steal their coins and stuff like that. And I'm hoping nobody here fell victim to that. But it's just crazy. It's like they can launch a fake platform faster than we can get ours out on Google. What the hell, man? Like, how is that even possible? Where's the, you know, where's the monitoring and the safety protocols and guidelines for that? They allow people to put on whatever they want. Like how Apple and Google, they're just allowing this shit on their platform to be an actual app to download. There's no questions asked. There's no verification. There's no vetting or KYC process. Like how is that even illegal? Like how are we promoting that stuff? Like who's in charge of this shit? Like what kind of shit show they just got running here? But I guess that just goes to show that, you know, there's so many different applications and stuff that are being launched all the time, and crypto is so unknown, you know, and it's no, you know, I'm not trying to badmouth Apple, but it's like kind of nobody along the way, get a lot of that stuff removed, and they wait, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can
okay,
hear you.
was,
You kind of for a
You,
second.
okay,
you were cutting out a little
okay,
bit.
there we go. Yeah. So we'll make it available as soon as possible. Well, so say, Tom and Bud, you got a question? Let me go ahead. Go ahead. Let you talk on here. What's up, Bud?
Oh, very good. First of all, good morning, Saitama Wolfpack family, and Russ, the team, the development team, their families. We are very appreciative of all the things that you do. So let me just start by uh, giving my thoughts on Saitama Wolfpack. We're on every night under Danny and Aaron and some of the and Faltron too at night. So you know, just support the community. Let's hold hand in hand, continue this journey. And I know that the chart is really responding since even though before you came and talked, actually, Russ, I you know I do technical analysis for a full blown technical analysis on Saitama and other coins, the big coins. But you know what? It's the community that matters. We have a solid community. Let us stick that way. Bashers, haters will come in, convince you. I got offered a couple of times, to bash Saitama. You know, it's a big amount of dollar, but the dollar is not important to me. What matters is family and what I believe in this project, what Saitama Wolf believes in this project. So you know what? Let's hold our hands together again one more time and stand and continue this process. We will be going somewhere on or before December 25th to January, most importantly, October of 2022. So, you know, hang tight. We are a team and let's continue to be that way. Again, thank you, Russ, for pulling me out.
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on in October? We got something going on in October? Or is that just a magical date?
No, it's a prophecy number that I have.
Prophecy.
And
okay.
and you know what? Saitama LLC has been blessed. We wouldn't be here if it's not for the development team. The effort that you guys put in, I don't have much money. I'm going to tell the community I don't have that much position. But you know what? I'm very happy that I will be resigning on December 31st because I will do my very best to appear on every Twitter space that I can and promote Saitama because it's a great company. It will change lives.
Here's to your retirement. Hopefully we can all get there one day. So just as I was talking about October, just to kind of give you guys some insight of like what 2022 will look like as far as events and things. We have a lot of pending things that we're working on right now. I can say that we're doing an expo in Dubai in March. We have some other things coming up. We have some other fights and stuff that we have coming up with our collaboration with the MMA that we're doing. So we sponsored a cage that they're building. We have an event coming up with them. It'll be a sponsored MMA fight with them coming up. We'll got some more details on that soon. There's the NBA All-Star Game in February that I'll be at doing some networking and creating some opportunity there. We have a expo in Santa Clara that we're trying to squeeze in there. If we don't do that one, we'll do one in Amsterdam. We have a big event coming up in Miami in June that we're trying to make like an annual event. And it's not going to be anything like promotional wise where we're trying to do anything crazy. It's just going to be an opportunity for everybody in the community to kind of get together, almost like a family reunion. And we want to try and do it like an annual event. So we'll do the first one in Miami in June. And we've talked with some of the legal counsel or, the folks down there, I think the mayor and things get involved with getting us some space. We'll probably have some entertainers come. We'll put on a concert. We'll do vendors and like games and different stuff. It'll just be like a really big social gathering, It's just an opportunity for people within the community that talk to each other every day to meet in person. We'll do food and we'll have events and we'll do some giveaways. We'll do fun stuff, but that's going to be more geared towards the community. No hidden agenda, right? Just an opportunity for people in the community to kind of come and celebrate some of the achievements and the leaps and the bounds that we've made, and give an opportunity for people to meet and to greet and gather and be merry, right? And we can do it, make it an annual event because we're a huge community. And at the end of the day, we want to make money, but we have time and energy invested into this, and we treat each other as one of the same movement. And we have a lot of vested interest in this project. We want to see it succeed. So, and Vegas was a good experience for that. I know we didn't get what we hoped to accomplish out of that with the launch, but it was still an awesome opportunity for people. I saw it all over Vegas, and people were meeting and greeting and taking pictures and shaking hands and like, oh, hey, I'm so and so on Facebook, or I'm so and so on Twitter, and hey, it's YouTube guys were there. We watch you guys on YouTube, and people were in the comments and they talk. So it gives an opportunity for people to meet and mingle, right? So I think if we do that, it brings us together collectively as a community a lot stronger too. So we're going to try and put together an event in June in Miami for that, which would be a lot of fun. And like I said, there's no hidden agenda there. It's just us, an opportunity to grow together and do some team building, right? Because we're all one big team. It's like a retreat, any kind of company you have, you coordinate company retreats, team building exercises, right? It's the way for us to come together, not just developers, but everybody in the community, and if you can make it, cool. And if not, then we're going to do another one, in the next year. So it's a good way for us to get together. Aside from that, we have some other stuff coming up that we'll give details on. That'll be more specific towards like a marketing, or some sort of collaboration of sorts, and we'll have information that comes down the pipe from there. But yeah, anybody else have any questions? I see a lot of people with their hand raised.
Saitama Wolfpack community, I'm done with my lunch. I went over 1 hour 30. So anyway, we love you, your family, team developers, and Saitama Wolfpack. I'll see you guys later.
Okay, thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Let's see, Warrior. Yeah, great, man. You got a question? You can speak now. You got it. You can ask.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, Russ, I appreciate the space you created. I just want to start by saying, thank you for your sacrifice and for those you've made and for those you continue to make. And I just want to give a shout out to everyone in the crowd who's in that same position, making sacrifice. I just acknowledge, like you said, Russ, and so in many words, but just in a few for me, it's like the greatest armor and weapon is truth, right? And well, that leads to my question. So we've been having, the Saitama community has been holding spaces and fighting the FUD in many ways, some with positivity and some with legit, in-depth conversations and rabbit holes that we walk through. One of those spaces is run by a few people in the community. What they call Needless Conversations, Cited Ninja, Miguel, Incognito, and we invite the FUD in those spaces, right? And we listen to it, and then we disprove it, and then we move on. And what we ended up finding over time is that there's a lot of innovation in this community, and other communities have gravitated to the space with the Saitama community, from SafeMoon, from Shiba. And with all that innovation in mind, of course, we all look at CytoMask as this potential to kind of lift all ships together. But I'm curious as to whether Saitama is planning on, to some extent, scouting for disruptive technologies and products that are being built by people in the community, even if they are launching a token. I think the most important piece is the product, right? And how utility tokens can disrupt rigid industries. Certainly, we see Lily as being, a step in that direction. But if this is a collective battle, and if we know that these attacks are going to get more intense, wouldn't it take more disruptive products to align themselves together to really lift all ships in this case? And so my question is, are you going to be scouting for these innovative products, not just the tokenomics, but the products themselves? And if so, what does that look like for people in the community and how they can engage, especially for those of us who are already kind of building from within here?
Yeah, so I mean, we're always looking to innovate and rearrange the space and make it more accessible, make it more legitimate, make it more streamlined. There is a lot of projects and coins out there that have some of that innovative tech that we've been looking into to integrating into our platform, whether it be a KYC function for, as we evaluate different coins to come onto our platform, offering another set of eyes and looking into this is in a different matter, where it'd be like a third party KYC where we can say, okay, if you don't want a KYC to the community, maybe you need to KYC to this company. So there is some legitimacy in backing there. And along the lines, with the Lily and integrating, the medical aspect into cryptocurrency and creating these joint ventures, it's opportunity. And there's a ton of other things that we're looking at doing right now, that we're trying to put together business models for moving forward that will help align some of our vision moving forward with that specific, like, so medical being one, real estate being another one, different, metaverse in conjunction with virtual reality, all these different things that we want to incorporate into what we're doing. The idea is to do it ourselves in a manner that we trust, in a platform that we design, and with the intentions of making it as user friendly and as accessible as it possibly can be, but also very innovative as well. So there's a ton of opportunity for growth in bringing other partners. And we've always had the approach is, if it makes sense for us to do it, we will. And the collaborations that we've made and the companies that we brought on and the partnerships and the relationships that we've built have all been geared behind the same principle, and that's for the success of growth of Saitama in the community. Everything will always funnel back to the coin one way or another. It funnels back to what we're doing. People say, okay, well, you have a Lily token, you're bringing them on. Like, how does that affect us as a community? Like, how does that benefit us? It benefits the space, but it also benefits the Saitama token. We didn't create the Lily token to launch it as its own, right? We brought in, with Lily Finance, we brought them in as a joint venture as experts in the field, right? We're not doctors, we're not medical professionals, we don't have connections in that space, but they do. So how can we create that joint venture to make it beneficial for everyone, right? We incumbent that into our platform, and we make it exclusive on SaitaMask. So if you want to be involved in that, you have to go through our platform, right? And every time people do interactions and transactions in SaitaMask, you'll have to have at least some Saitama token. So to say, how does that benefit me as a Saitama holder? to bring in joint ventures and collaborations. Well, it benefits you because out of that circulating supply, I don't care if you don't trust Saitama at all, but you want to buy some of this other token that we're affiliated with, you still have to hold Saitama to do that. So now we have another holder. Now we have more or less coins in circulating supply because it's in that person's wallet to transact on our platform. And as we build out this other stuff, it allows more people to get involved in it. It all, like I said, it all funnels back to what we're trying to do. It all funnels back to the brand, all funnels back to SaitaMask and everything that we're trying to achieve. So that's kind of the premise of that.
Just a follow-up question to that, if I may. So just essentially related to, in the event that a token is on SaitaMask but isn't a joint partnership, is the vetting process in part Saitama assessing the utility of the token and the disruptiveness of that token? Is that a layer to how kind of the team is maybe scouting or screening, whichever one of those words you want to use in this case?
Yeah, we have a process that we go through. First, we want to validate the coin, right? We want to make sure that there's no red flags. Like, we want to go through the fine tooth comb and back. Okay, is the tokenomic structure accessible, right? What's the wallet distribution like? Is there a dev wallet that holds 20% of the circulating supply? And then look at the coding. Like, okay, is the coding structured to where 1% is going to some strange wallet that nobody knows about? Is the reflections paid in native token or is it Ethereum? What's the structure of the whole ecosystem of this coin? What's the white paper? What's the community like? So there's a ton of different items that we kind of go through and look at. We want successful coins, and we want promising coins to be on our platform, or else we would just be a traditional wallet. Like, we wouldn't have anything. There's no point in having a swap if it's just us, right? Or we're swapping us for Ethereum or Saitama for Lily. Like, we want to encourage people to be on our platform, but we have guidelines in place that we have to look after too. If a token just launched 3 days ago and wants to be on SaitaMask, like, they could be the most legit project in the world, but they have to kind of have a certain amount of holders. We have to look at the community, and this is just some of the other things that we look at too, aside from the coding, the tokenomics, the white paper, the roadmap, all those things. So and then we have a built-in structured KYC program to where you're gonna, if you don't want to dox to the community, like, you have to dox to us. Like, we're not gonna let you on our platform with a Bob the Builder, avatar. Like, I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. Like, you need to dox.
Is liquidity a threshold you think that it would be difficult to surpass for a small or early stage token in terms of the liquidity needed to be on SaitaMask?
Yeah, so liquidity, it depends on the pairing, right? So whenever you're talking about liquidity, you have to offer up X amount of tokens on whatever pairing you want. So you have your native token, we'll call it token A. And then if you want to create a Saitama pairing inside SaitaMask, you have to offer up 50% of token A and 50% of Saitama. That creates that pairing, which generates the 1-for-1 swap. Now, what we'll have integrated into that is like a market maker or a buy-sell wall manager, where someone from that coin or ourselves, right, will monitor the buy-sell wall. And then as more volume increases, like, okay, now you need to insert or inject liquidity to balance out this buy wall. If you want multiple pairings, right, if you want it to be a token A and an Ethereum pairing, then you have to also inject Ethereum to that pairing. So you could have multiple pairings on a single platform, and then you allow the user to dictate what you want to swap for. If you want to swap Saitama for token A, if you want to swap Ethereum for token A, and you can do any kind of pairing that you want. And that gives us the ability to integrate a BNB pairing as well, where you don't have to actually swap BNB for USDT for Ethereum and like you would normally, right? You can interject it and inject these pairings into our platform, so where we can do a direct swap for BNB to Ethereum. It all just depends on the token, what they want to do, how much LP they want to add, and then down the road, what their volume is. If a coin gets a lot of volume and they start to, get the attention of the holders and people want to buy more, obviously you'll have to inject more tokens into the liquidity or have a staking mechanism. There's a lot of kind of technical ways around that, but Max and his team have built a pretty streamlined approach to how we're going to do that. The first part of that process is going to be obviously vetting the coins that we're going to put on there. Right? That's first and foremost. And we have a couple now. I'd gotten with Nam earlier in the week, and him and Steve are working on some coins that put in applications for them to kind of do the legwork on it, right? And initiate which coins are going to be on there, do the KYC process, and then we'll inject liquidity. But we can't put any liquidity until we get CertiK done first, because of course that allows us to put money into the platform, and we can't put any money into it until we get a clean bill of health, so to speak. So once that happens, they could do a test swap. Right? So Max and the engineers will come on, do a test swap of the coin, make sure everything trades equivocally and how it should. And then when the platform's available to launch, people go on there and then simply do as you do now with any other swap or exchange. And market value will dictate. So you're swapping 100 billion Saitama tokens for token A or token B or whatever. And that just depends on each coin and what liquidity pairing they want to add. But we'll work in tandem, with the developers of these coins to see what they want to do, and more importantly, how we're going to manage that. But it'll be a joint venture.
Awesome. Thank you, Russ.
Mm-hmm.
And great questions there, Warrior Prophet. You literally took some of the questions out of my mouth. I have a follow-up question to that. So speaking of tokens, which I was also going to ask about, what about KOLs, KOLs, key opinion leaders? These are just so critical. And as the Wolf Pack, we want to bring on more and more of these KOLs into the community. Is there anyone who the community could reach out to offer up some of these KOLs to the team?
Yeah, I mean, so we have probably the best way. I know our email kind of gets flooded a little bit. Our Saitama, it's info@saitamatoken.com is our general email, and then some moderators and some people that work in our operations, Rhea and Kat, they go through and try to figure out which email is really relevant, right? We get a lot of emails and they're like, yeah, go Wolfpack, which is cool, right? And then we get random questions like, how do I buy a Saitama? And then we get a lot of flood from like our merch store, but they do a good job of going through and sorting through the emails. So if there's something that you want to address or to set up something that we can talk about more, the best way to do that would either to be probably to send an email to the info@saitamatoken.com, and then we can kind of look at things individually and see. I try to go through there and get stuff scheduled out and talk to people and do networking and address some of these things and opportunities that may be out there, because there's a lot of opportunities for growth and for things that are extremely beneficial to what we're trying to do. We're pretty amazing, but we haven't thought of everything, right? There's a lot of opportunity for other companies and coins and different things that we haven't even thought of that could offer, critical support to what we're trying to do. So I think that would probably be the best avenue right now, and then we can set something up.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to step out because I have to jump on a call, but I'm going to send an email with the KOL and also just put this out to the Wolfpack and the entire community. I'm working with Tyson Fury, bringing his boxing gym into the metaverse, and a bunch of partnerships, a big event we've got going on the first week of January. It's like all the big fighters are coming. Mike Tyson, Steve Aoki, as you may not know, is big time boxer, trains in Tyson's gyms, friends with him. We're going to have just like some amazing KOLs. I'd love to get the community out there. So just hit me up. Peace out, everybody. It's been real. Thanks, Russ. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. I'm out.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see what else here.
I was asked, I guess Rashid from Dubai, you may know him. He was asking if you could possibly put him up on the panel to ask some important questions.
Oh yeah. Let me see. I did see. Oh, here he is. Yeah. What's up, Rashid? How you doing, man? Long time. Go ahead. That's as soon as you're connected, you got the floor, man.
Hey Ross, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, brother. Last time when we had that Zoom meeting, me and you, I never wanted to bring up the Expo thing 2020, but since you actually brought it up right now and you talked about Expo thing 2020 in Dubai, um, from the last time we had that conversation and you mentioned that to me and I told you, that you need to have someone to represent, out of their own culture and so on. I do have friends and family too who work in Expo 2022 in management positions, and they spoke to me and they told me, because I told them that what is the whole thing that we wanted to do, what is the whole thing that we're trying to advertise and bring people attention to and so on. And they said, okay, instead of just holding a boutique out there into the expo thing and people are just passing on, they want to highlight it and they want to make it one of the main events out there. So I just wanted to bring this up to you. They spoke to me about this very long time ago, and last night in the wedding they spoke to me about it again, but I actually forgot to mention you. But since the day you came on and spoke about it, I just wanted to highlight this to you, just to bring it to your attention, that they want to kind of make it as a main events, one of the main events, not the only one, but one of them. So that will bring like a much bigger attention to the whole thing. And regarding to the second subject that me and you we spoke about, I still don't want to say what it is, but that's very under development, but it's very working very well. Like I've been through several chain of commandments out here and it's working very well. So most probably very soon, very, very soon, you would probably hear me talking to you about it and you would have to actually come down here.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, and so for the Dubai Expo, I think MK just did the contract and paid for the venue space out there for the expo. So yeah, so we'll definitely coordinate with you in the coming months about maximizing that potential out there. So I know that we have one of the biggest tents, right, or cubicles there, and then I think we have like 3 screens. So no, it's gonna be a big deal. So we'll have to coordinate with you on how we can kind of get people, local and people out there to represent us, like we had kind of talked about, as far as having that cultural divide and representing
Oh yeah,
to what we're trying to
sorry
do.
to cut you off, man, but regarding to I'm already like on WhatsApp like conversations with MK and Jade, and I gotta say like these people work extremely fast. Like Jade, MK, Nam, we have them Zoom meetings, and these people are really fast, even though they're really busy. But they're doing a great job here. But what we want to do is like, other than me and Jade, and we talked about a lot of things that we want to do here, especially just to get it to the attention of the Middle East world. That look, there's one of the biggest funds. Not funds, but I would say like one of the biggest cooperations here that they do, that they invest people money, and it has like almost 250 billion, like in total market cap, that they invest, the Middle East people money and so on. And we want to see if we can actually hit that one. But for the expo thing, yeah, definitely, we gotta hit that one too, and we gotta make it some kind of a main event where we can attract people attention. Not only have to have 3 screens, we can have the whole place to ourselves and still people would be like really out there, just walking around. But when I spoke to the family members and so on, and they said that we can make it one of the main events to highlight to people what's going on there, I think that's going to be really great to us as a community, as a company, as a business, and as growing. That would be really great.
Shout out to all the community members in the region, Cider Ninja and everyone too. They can support out there. Shout out to all the people in the region.
And yeah, and last thing, regarding to that other project, we talked about, just so you know that when it happened, and hopefully it will happen very soon, you would have to come, nobody else.
Got it. I think I can handle coming to Dubai more than once a year. I mean, you have to twist my arm, but I think I can make that happen. But no, I'm excited. I mean, we're really pumped about it. It's going to be a great expo. There's a lot of opportunity for us, a lot of networking exposure on multiple different levels. And like I said, everything that we do is so strategic. And as you mentioned, Jade and MK and moving things along, like everybody's worked so hard. And I know that sometimes it may not seem like it, but man, I'm telling you, everybody involved, the development team down to every single last community member and moderator and people inside, the core team, any part of our infrastructure and our organization is just some of the hardest working people I've ever had the pleasure of working with. So it's been tremendous. And again, when you put in hard work, you see that unfold. And we've been a direct reflection of that, I think, from the beginning. Nobody has ever, there's never been any negative discussion or people get discouraged. It's always like, if we just take it on the chin and just, okay, let's just push on, let's just move forward. There's been so many different times where we could have just packed it in and been like, you know what, well, that's it, like throw in the towel. But that's never been the mindset. Of course, not for me or any of the developers, but the community and the moderators and everybody else. Like, okay, here's a problem. How do we fix it? It's addressing it first and foremost, putting
No, man.
a resolution and action plan in place.
No, I agree with you, because honestly, like me, Jade, MK, now we're facing some difficulties here. Like I said, promoting when it comes to crypto, like in the Middle East, especially in Dubai, it's not that much, like they have that tolerance for it, because they know what happens. They know there's no people docs. They know there's people getting rug pulled and so on. And they don't want to risk the Emirati people who are living here, to be part of this, but yes, I do agree with you. We face a lot of pushbacks, but I'm telling you, like me and the team, we're pushing back in every single corner. We get backed up to this corner. We're like, okay, let's just try to squeeze our way out of to the other corner. It's not easy. I have to admit with you, I was never involved into these things. I was never considering to be involved into these things. But now I do understand, where you're coming from when you say you're backing up, into things, but you're pushing. You're like, enough is enough. Let's push back into the other way. So I totally agree with you. I'm pushing back. Jade is pushing back. MK is pushing back. Nana is pushing. We like really just have, we get into this corner trapped. We just run to the other corner and like, well, you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll get our way out of this. We do this. We do that. It's a very tough thing, because sometimes it gets frustrating, when you jump in from one place and everything seems very close, then you get a little bit of a hiccup. But however, though, I think in the end of the day, this is worth it. Not only because I'm trying just to get Saitama out here, but if I can get the majority of you to understand what crypto is in general, that's a very beautiful message for them to know what they're investing in. And you're right, I put my money in the bank. I'm not getting no returns. They take my money, they loan it to people, they put it back here, and then they get the most percentage, and I'm not getting nothing out of it. I completely agree with you with that. Just sometimes, we have to think of ways, what is the best solution at this point of time, where people can invest their money and get the highest return, 200, 100x, 10x, 20x, 30x, instead of me putting it in the bank and giving it to them for free. Why am I not using it? So this is one of the messages I'm trying to get out here. But I'm just starting with Saitama, and I want to stick with Saitama, because I'm part of the family and I'm part of the wolf pack, and I'm been on and off with them on the daily, spaces and so on. And I'm loving it. Me, Faltron, Okami, everybody. We're just like pushing into the community. We're letting the exposure get out there. I'm trying to do these AMAs with the Arab people here. I'm trying to introduce them to them. We're trying to make some logos with t-shirts and so on for them to understand what is the whole thing out of this? What is the concept out of this? Where are we trying to reach? And what is the financial freedom? And what is the goal? It's worthless to, go ahead and work for 40 years or 45 years to know you're walking away with a small budget that you're thinking about, how am I supposed to take my family? Goddamn, I'm like 60 years old and I don't know how to take my family on a nice trip, after working all these years. But what if I can accomplish this instead of hitting 40 and 50 and 60 by working, all these shifts and stuff? What if I can do that when I'm in my 20s or 30s, to have that financial freedom that everybody's dreaming about? So end of the day, I would say it's just really worth it. There's a lot of things that I'm excited about, not only when it comes, because me, Russ, I'm not in direct contact with you, like 24 hours or we talk and stuff. We had that meeting. We set our plan on 1, 2, 3. This is what I want to do. This is what you got to help me with, and so on. And we push that. We just left it in the corner till the day comes on. But me and Jade and everybody, we're trying to make a lot of things here, beautiful things here. But we just gotta stick tight as a community. We gotta stick tight as Wolfpack members, and we just gotta put our focus on the bigger goal and not be scared out of the FUD or out of the market cap, what happened and the issues on this. No, we just gotta put our stick to the ground and say, you know what? We're looking into one goal and one goal only, and we got that one. We just stick together and we got this thing together.
So about that, Russ, a question, because Valtran and Rashid have been like holding spaces and stuff. So I'm curious about, like, as we grow as a community and scale, and of course the team grows, just the amount of innovation taking place in Saitama, the amount of development, the amount of phone time, right, that's required, which you pointed out. it kind of leaves these spaces, and even the great moderators that are officially on like Discord, Telegram, it leaves them with a lot more work. And so, is there a plan and focused on preserving this positive culture that we have, lifting up crypto economy as well here, to create kind of a, I would say, a training program for ambassadors to make sure that the message is very based on, again, founded in data, objective, that those who are taking the role of ambassador at some point in time, it becomes more official so that there's accountability in the message that is being shared, if there's anything being shared, or even the presentation of data. Because I do notice that as we grow, there's a lot of people are doing great work, but how do we preserve this great culture over time as Saitama scales? And do you have a plan in place to help us do that?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great question because I mean, we've had such tremendous growth, if you guys all know, over the last 7 months. So, you know, we've encountered some growing pains, and we encourage people in the community to get involved and do these spaces. But we also want to make sure that there's the proper dissemination of information being funneled out to everybody. And it's never our intention, no matter how big we get, to, you know, to become a publicly traded company, right? To be an ICO, to franchise, right, or anything. And no matter how big we get, it's always, you know, we want to keep the grassroots, right? We want to make sure that it's always community guided, community driven, and having these spaces and kind of repeating the norm and making sure that we don't get away from what's really been the catalyst to our success, and that's the people in the community. So we want to continue to do these things, and how we structure that moving forward is something that we're constantly innovating on and trying to kind of put together. We have, like I said, a ton of moderators in Discord and Reddit and everywhere else that's done a tremendous job. We try to stay in communication with these guys as much as possible, so we're getting the right information out there. At some point here, probably in the very near future, we'll need to structure a more sound governance to where we have proper people in the proper places and channels to moderate such events. Like, so we have a Twitter space that could be moderated by a few people, so it's scheduled where we can know, you know, Wednesday at 2:00, you know, say Tom will be hosting a Twitter space via, you know, whatever moderators we have, whether, you know, be somebody from the community or inside someone in the internal team, and also to, of course, relay specific information, so we're not cross-contaminating and having different things on different platforms, because that's not really conducive to business. But yeah, we are definitely aware of that, and how we're trying to get that information out and build a structured governance around it is something that we're actively pursuing. It's just one of those things that we've grown so fast in such a short amount of time that we're kind of like almost overflowing, where there's so much work to be done. And luckily, we've had so many great people in the community that have really stepped up and filled in some of those shoes and kind of put themselves in that role. And I think we'll continue to do so and make things a little bit more official. And that's kind of what I talked about earlier, you know, as generating a more company atmosphere to where we're having like W-2 employees. So it won't be just a moderator or a representative of Saitama, but an actual spokesperson or an ambassador or a paid employee. Now, don't get paid influencer mixed up with employee, because those are two totally different things. Like, we're a paid influencer is someone you give money to talk about something, a product, right? If I let's say if I was a paid spokesperson for, I don't know, Tide soap, they would pay me $100,000, and I would go on my Twitter and say, hey, everybody go buy Tide soap. But as an ambassador, that's something I would believe in, right? And I'm a paid employee of the company, to where I want to talk about it, and I want to disseminate information to the public. I want to bring a positive outlook to what we're trying to do, and more importantly, give information about upcoming events, things that are going on. And if we can do that on multiple channels, you know, it's going to be greatly beneficial for everybody. So that's definitely something we are looking forward to doing in the near future. We're just kind of having to put things together as we go, and because we've gone so rapidly in such a short amount of time, it's difficult for us to kind of do all those things at once. But it's definitely something that's on our radar for the very near future.
That's awesome.
So anyhow, so I know we got let me see if we got, let's try to do like one more question, and then I have to jump off on another call after. I think we're doing an AMA with the Latin America community. We have some people down there that make up a huge amount of people in the community that are down in Latin America and South America. So we got an AMA scheduled with them in an hour, so I got to get some stuff together for them. Let's see here. Let's do one more question. Oh, here we go. Moody, I see that you've had your hand up for a while, man. Well, last question here, and then we'll move on. Go ahead, buddy. When you're connected, you should be able to talk. There you go. There you go, buddy.
Hello.
Hey.
This feels so good. Good day to everyone within this community. Good day to you, Mr. Russ. I don't know if you've taken note of my post on all your tweets of late. I just want to say you're doing an amazing job. I had complaints at the beginning that no one was listening to my complaint. I'm so happy you made mention of the manipulation going on by these big names. I would like to call their names out, and I'm so glad you're trying to place a platform where we can do our things. Because trust me, West Africa commits a huge percent of what is going on within the crypto space. And places like Binance, I personally have a lot of cases with them that has been reported as well. They sell you, they go as much as hacking what they sell to you is that bad. So I'm just so glad you're putting a system where people like us can come on and have peace of mind. This is what I want to put out. And if you take a look at my page, you will see that I've been complaining about something about somebody ripping me off, all in the name of trying to provide our community resource to push on our project. We bought into Saitama because we found it as something that we needed as a financial tool to push out our idea, and it was a wonderful thing. The only mistake I and my team made was to call this guy on board to cross-check what we were doing. I'm just so glad with what you're doing, and then if there's any help the community can help in retrieving back our Saitama that was stolen by that guy, we'll be so glad. I just want to say thank you, and thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak here. It's such a blessing.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and it's not just me. I mean, I try to stay pretty intuitive, right, in the community and more importantly in crypto in general in the space and how it reacts and how things happen. So I know it's not just me that sees some of these things. I just feel like we're being affected by it, and targeted at some time. So, the whole idea of me coming on here was to basically say like, hey, like we're not going to do it anymore, man. We're not going to sit back and be the punching bag anymore. I guess time for us to push back and put our foot in the ground and say, hey, enough is enough, right?
If
Put
you
the
watch
information out there.
If you watch my post, you will see that I've been saying it all the time. CoinMarketCap does not ever update in real time what is going on within the Saitama space. They never do that, and it's just such a blessing. I'm so glad that you are having such a meeting, and we are down here. We are putting all effort because if you must know, I think America has about 23 million users within the crypto space. But trust me, Nigeria alone has 60 million users. Put that together with Togo, Ghana, Cameroon, and all the West African countries, you will see that we are very large down here. And Saitama is something that everyone is starting to embrace, and we will do everything we can to see that everybody embraces it, because the system is something you don't have to question. You see it, and that's what it is. We are so happy you put up such a platform.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, and that just goes to show, like, it's not here locally in the U.S. Like, we're trying to touch every corner of the world, right? And there's so much other stuff that we're working on, and it's all geared towards the same goal, right? And that's financial literacy, financial freedom, incorporating blockchain development, cryptocurrency into everyday lives, economic infrastructures, and I speak more directly and more relevant terms of the things that we're working on, in smaller third world countries, to where specifically they are outsourcing a lot of their funding, and the money that they make day in and day out has to go through corporate banking, and it has to go back to the U.S. And we'll say, just as an example, the average household income is $100 a month. That $100 a month, I would say a small percentage of it actually stays inside their own economy. A majority of that funding goes back to corporate banks and back to the U.S. So how do you build up an economy that's already struggling when you're taking a large chunk of their money. You're not putting it back into society. You're not building up their infrastructure. You're taking it out of greed. You're taking it out of spite. You're taking it out of the norm, because that's been the norm for years. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. They stay poor. Now, is that the right mentality? No, absolutely not. Is it moral? Is it ethic? Of course not. But is it the norm? Yes. Is it accepted? Yes. Is it encouraged? Yes. But is it right? No. So how do we come in and change that? We create a system to replace the old, and we put in a new system that helps build economies, that helps create economic infrastructures, that helps countries retain their investment, retain their monies earned. Like, you made the money, why are you giving it out to another corporate bank? Like, why are you? And I'm not trying to bash anybody specifically or any country specifically. I'm saying this as encouragement. Like, why? Like, we don't have to. Like, we can create a better economic infrastructure for these countries where they can retain their investment, where they can retain their monies and put it back into their own economy. They should have an opportunity to reap the benefits. Like, why are these banks the ones that are taking all the money? Why are they the ones that are, fattening their pockets and lining their pockets with this stuff? They didn't do any of the work. I promise you. They're just sitting there collecting the benefits of it. So how do we now give the money back to the people, right? We put our foot down. We say enough is enough. We're going to come in. We're going to help you build this economy. We're going to help you put a system in place that allows you to be in control of your money. We're going to remove fiat. We're going to put digital assets in place. We're going to allow a circulating traditional digital asset to circulate through your economy, so everybody wins. So your dollar is $1 at the end of the day, and your dollar is still $1 at the end of the week. It's not 83 cents. It's not 50 cents. It's circulating inside your own economy, creating a stable wealth environment, and creating an infrastructure that is actually beneficial, right? Instead of making a dollar and giving away half to a country that has no ramifications or even gives a shit, you're now putting that back into your own country, and you're building up that infrastructure. That's how you take control of a broken system. And I think crypto in general can do that, because you can you can manipulate it how you want to. And it's just a matter of having the right people in the right place with the right drive and the ambition to do that. And as long as we can get people on board with that thought process and be accepting of it, then we're good. We can make all these things happen. Are we going to make, some ripples along the way? Are we going to get some pushback? Are we going to put a target on our back for doing this? 100%. But we knew that coming in, right? We knew that we were going to get pushback. We knew that there was going to be people out there that were going to, push us against the wall and tell us we can't. And they can't tell us we can't, because last time I checked, it's still a free market. This is still a land of opportunity. This is still an opportunity. It's still the people, right? You can't tell people what to do. This isn't, the 1900s. This isn't 1800s. Like, we're not, fighting for scraps. Like, we're 300,000 strong now. We can do whatever we want. Imagine that 1 million. Like, you cannot stop it. That's an immovable force. So, that's our goal, and that's what we're really trying to do. Everything else, is kind of in tandem with that. But that's always been kind of like our vision, and mine specifically, and trying to make the greatest impact, and unfortunately, history repeats itself, to where people that have a great vision and people that try to accomplish great things are not very well recepted, right? When you don't follow the crowd, when you don't follow the herd and go with the norm, and you just flow straight upstream and be kind of like a lemming, that's what they want, right? That's what people want. They don't want ripples. They don't want people coming in and changing things. Like, this works, so stick to it, and don't ask questions. What happens when you start asking questions? Right? We're like, well, why are you asking questions? Don't ask questions. Just do as you're told. Right? Or, this is the norm, accept it. Like, why is it the norm? Like, there's other ways to do things. There's more value in doing things another way. There's always a different and more prosperous way to do things. And I think that our financial system across the world is in turmoil. It doesn't make any sense. And as long as we can open our eyes and have other people get involved and have their vision come to fruition with what our vision is, we can change lives, and we can change, how we foresee, economies being built out. There's no need for it, and for me to sit back and see how these economies are struggling around the world when they don't need to, it just blows my mind. Like, how can we come in and change it? How can we fix it? It's a broken system. Clearly, nothing that's happened over time has made a difference. It's gotten worse. There's no way that you know, there can't be a way that these problems can't be corrected, right? Like it doesn't make any sense. So now I think it's a big influence in cryptocurrency to be able to change the way that we do business and change the way that we live and operate and remove some of these problems. And a big problem with it is corporate banking and traditional fiat. You know, I look back now, even as like we do the stimulus stuff, like we're pumping trillions of dollars right into the U.S. infrastructure, and for what? Like we're devaluing the dollar. And the dollar is not even backed by anything anymore. It's not backed by the U.S. Treasury. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything. The only thing that gives the dollar value is the people on this call right now. We say what the dollar is worth, and to me, the dollar ain't worth shit. You know, what's it backed by? It does nothing. And you guys are, I mean, not to say you guys, but us, right? The country and other countries were mass producing and pumping out so much money and just flooding the market, you know, with money. And for what? We're devaluing it. We're devaluing our economy. We're devaluing everything. And everything in one way or another circles back and shapes around the economy of the US and the global banking system. So let's change that. Let's change the perspective, change the entire system. It's broken, right? How do we fix it? We got to start somewhere. And I think that as we grow and we progress and we kind of move forward, a lot more people are going to get on board, right? They see what we're doing. I get calls all the time of people like, hey, I love your vision. How can we help? You know, they're, and not just investing in Saitama, right? That's great. We want people to invest, right? Because that gives us more power. It gives us more people. It gives us more voices to be heard. But people are like, no, I don't want to just invest. I want to help. How can we help carry out your vision? How can we get on board to help carry out your mission and do what you guys want to do? Like, we want to be there, you know, beside you, not in front of you, not behind you, but right next to you, and carrying out this mission. Like, what do we need to do? And a lot of people have a lot of connections that we can utilize.
Well, Russ, I'm a physician and a technology developer, and there are a lot of great people out here. I will say, when the dust settles, whether it's a week or a month from now, I'd love to connect with you about a product that's going to launch anyway. But you know, we're out here, we're ready in many respects. So when you have time, you know, when the team has time, just tell us the way. We'll take the path.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And it's the joint ventures and people like that and creating things. And that's what it's all about. Like, I'm always receptive to partnerships, and people always say like, oh, how come we're partnering with these people? Or how come you're creating a joint venture with this company? And how come you're doing that? And I'm like, well, why not? If it makes sense, why not? You know, we're not out here trying to change the world by ourselves. You know, we're only, you know, 7 developers and a handful of moderators. And yeah, we have a huge community, but the task at hand is what's most important. How do we, you know, how do we collectively work together? And of course, it's not just power of one person or one company. It's at the end of the day, it's everybody. If we can all get together and move towards a common goal, we're going to get there much quicker. You know, we're not trying to be selfish. We want everybody to get on board. Like, hey, let's get all on this train together and plow down the road. So yeah, so absolutely, anytime, like we'll make it happen. And that's, you know, I'm all about collaborations and teamwork and partnerships. And realistically, that's what I do most of the day is talking to people, talking to different companies, talking to different countries, talking to different ambassadors, you know, and not necessarily just politicians, but just people in general that we share common ground with, that we share a common vision with. And people reach out to me, like I said, all the time and saying, hey, we love the passion, we love the energy, we love the vision. How do we now get involved and get on board with you guys so we can help you get there sooner? Or what can we do? You know, and a lot of times it's a simple task where it's simple input, you know, collectively from a lot of different people that help achieve major goals. And it's not, you know, we're not, you know, to a point where we think we can do it all on our own, right? We need every single person that we can, and the more people we have, the faster we can get the stuff done. So, now we kind of got off topic a lot and we talked about a lot of different things, but it's good. I like coming on here and talking to you guys and sharing some of my thoughts. And again, these are, you know, some of my own personal opinions. Some of them are actual directions of the company that we want to go. You know, and addressing, you know, community feedback is important. I don't have an opportunity to communicate with the community as much as I like, just because we're so busy all the time. But it's good to be able to have open conversations like this and get some of the feedback and allow you guys to, you know, hear some of our thoughts and the things that we, you know, do on a daily basis and kind of the direction where we're trying to go, and understand that there's some limitations and there's some obstacles that we do run into on a daily basis. and more so recently, right? And kind of as I opened up this Twitter space with the pushback, and the roadblocks that have been put in our way, and we overcome them, but that doesn't mean that they're not there, and it's important for us to put that out there and lay the cards on the table and let you guys make up your own minds and say, hey, there is a lot of corruption, right? There is a lot of foul play that occurs inside this space, and it's not just a burner Twitter account saying something silly. No, I mean, it's at the highest levels, and it's all coming down, and it's a controlled marketing tactic where they feel like they're losing control. And when you lose control, what happens? You get aggressive, you make improper decisions, you find yourself in a position where now you're in legal trouble, you break laws, you violate treaties, you do everything and anything under the sun. You start to stretch that envelope and that boundary to where you're like, hey, you know what, now I'm going to, do something that could be impactful because of a random options. It's almost like, you start throwing little pebbles at people until they get annoyed, right? And then they figure out that you're not making a big enough impact, and then you just run over and throw something like a big old stick at somebody. It's the same concept. Like now they're throwing pebbles, now they get a little bit more aggressive, and now, okay, you got our attention. Now we're going to put our foot down. Now we're going to start fighting back. So that was kind of the whole premise of this conversation. I want to get it started, but anyhow, I'm gonna hop off here so I can get on this other AMA here in a little bit. But I'm gonna try and come on here maybe a little bit more often. Maybe I can get with some of you guys in the community and we can do a open forum discussion once a week or something where we can talk about stuff like that. Because I think it's important for people in the community to have an open conversation with people in the development team and myself to answer to ask questions. If I see a question pop up on Twitter or AMAs enough, right, that I'll make a point to come on and address it. We've always been nothing but transparent, and anything that I see as being, oh, well, that's actually a valid statement, let me address it. I've always been the first one to come out and do that, whatever it is, regardless. And I'm not worried about what the outcome is. If it's an actual legitimate question, you'll get 100% the truth. So that's how we've done it from the beginning, and we have no plans on changing that. So, I appreciate you guys coming on here, man. And and I think we'll still do an AMA on Friday. So,
can I ask one last question, Russ?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Have you seen the application for Shaman King Inu come across your desk? And
maybe?
And have you ever heard our catchphrase, Shaman?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look, man.
I'm just kidding, Russ. Anyway, thank you for coming out. That was great. Thank you so much, Russ.
Yeah, no worries. I can always appreciate a soft shill, Falcon.
You know how I do it?
Yeah, a little soft shill. No worries. No, I haven't. No, but yeah, there is a lot of coins out there that have applied, and I think Steve and Nam are actually going through. I told him if we could get a solid list together by Friday of the coins that we're going to be listing initially, that would be good. So hopefully, on our AMA Friday, we can have a list of some coins that we have already approved and all that stuff. There's a couple that we had that we did the AMA with before, but there's a few more that we're going through right now, and it'll be an ongoing process, right? Like, as we release the platform, there's going to be more coins that apply. There's going to be more that meet the criteria as we go on, and there'll be obviously more that come to development over time. So that'll be a constantly evolving thing. We want to have as many coins on there as possible. It's not, what good is having a wallet and a swap if you only have 2 coins on there, right? Kind of defeats the purpose. So, and that's just so you know, like that's one of the functions, right, of the wallet is a swap, but it's not all it is. So when we launch version 1, you guys will see like a whole roadmap, like Q1, Q2, Q3, what we're going to integrate into it. So if it's just a wallet with the staking capabilities and the swap function, that's not all it is. Like, you guys can look at the roadmap, and Max will actually do probably an AMA on that and what that looks like. We did it in Vegas, and we'll promote that as well, so you guys can see what it'll look like and what the roadmap is for the progression of the wallet and all the different things we're going to add to it. And you guys will kind of get a better understanding of what that will look like. So anyways, awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys, for coming out. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
We love you, Russ. Thank you, bro. You're the best leader we can have at the helm.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Russ. Look forward to connecting.
All right.
Peace out. Take care.
All right, y'all. I definitely want to thank y'all for sticking around and hanging out and watching that and listening to the Twitter space. Please, if you would do me a favor, Twitter spaces aren't recorded, so this could be potentially, the only live full AMA, recorded version of it. So if you would, please share this on your social medias. Help spread the word out there. Let's get this information. Let's get the words of Russ, the leader of Saitama, our COO. Let's get this out there so that people can can come back and listen to this again. So I definitely thank each and every one of you for sticking around and hanging out. I'll go back and try to put in a timestamp of when the AMA starts, but if I will try to do that. I'll figure out how to do it. But man, I definitely want to thank each and every single one of y'all for sticking around and putting up and just hanging out. So I definitely love y'all and appreciate all the love and support. And you know what I'll do? I'll see y'all tonight over on the Cuff and the Dip show. But I will see y'all tomorrow right back here at this same time, the same location. Be here at noon Central Standard Time here on the Midday Mix-Up. Minion Steve, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. WS Motors, Minion Steve, Miss Wendy, man, I love each and every single one of y'all. And if you would, please hit that like button on the way out. If you like the content and you appreciate it, man, hit that subscribe as well. I definitely would appreciate you. But again, please share this on your social medias. And man, I will see y'all tonight. And man, I will say while Russ was talking, we saw a little bit of a price increase. Exciting times. So 2 things in this world y'all can control at all times: attitude and effort. Stay positive. Give 110% in everything you do. I'm JustAman. I'm out of here. See y'all later. Peace.